results. But skin is still more clear at 1 year.
Don't use if you're allergic to Eberle. Allergic reactions can occur that can be severe. Eye problems can occur. Tell your doctor if you have new or worsening eye problems. You should not receive a live vaccine treatment for Eberle. Before starting Eberle, tell your doctor if you have a parasitic infection.
Ask your doctor about what's monthly Eberle.
What's going on, everybody? John here with you on a Saturday night. It's October 25th, 2025. How's everybody doing out there today? Now, the funniest thing that I saw on the Kraken Hockey Network is I got the calm feed per usual because I want to listen to John Forslund, as they showed a rainy, windy Seattle with a bunch of leaves falling down. It feels just like home back when I was there November 14th and Cooper's birthday last year. So let's get into this game. So for Kris, Knoblauch, and the Edmonton Oilers, it sounds like this, and I should pull up my notes and all that stuff first. So let's make sure I do that before we get into the pregame. But for the Edmonton Oilers, they're 4-3-1, head coached by Kris Knoblauch. It is Connor McDavid, Isaac Howard, Andrew Mangiapane, Matthias Ekholm, Evan Bouchard, Leon Draisaitl, Vatsali Podkolzin, Matthew Savoie, Darnell Nurse, and Jake Wallman, RNH, Adam Henrique, and Jack Roslovic, Noah Phillip, Trent Frederick, David Tomasek, Brett Kulak, and Ty Emerson on the back end. Stuart Skinner will be the goaltender of record today. And for the Seattle Kraken, it sounds like this. Head coached by Lambert, they're 4-2-2. They're 2-2-2 on their previous 6-game road stand. Not too bad, all things considered. And now they have an opportunity to start a 5-game homestand and have 8 of the next 10 at Climate Pledge Arena. It's Matty Beniers, Berkeley Cadden, the rookie, is going to be on the first line with Jordan Eberle, Vince Dunn, and Adam Larson, Chandler, Stephenson, Mason Marchman with Ellie Tolvanen, Ryan Lindgren, and Brandon Montour is going to draw back into the lineup after leaving for personal reasons. Shane Wright, Jaden, Schwartz, Jani, Nyman, and then Ben Myers, Ty Karche, Ryan Winterton. A grinding fourth line fits that name. Josh Mahura and Jamie Alexiak will be the back end third line defense, and Joey DeCord will be the goaltender of record today. For Stuart Skinner, 2-1-1, 2-1-6 goals against, 909, and 1 shutout. Calvin Pickard's going to be the backup. Joey DeCord, 4-1-1, 2-5-6, 911, and a shutout as well. Philip Grubauer will be the backup today for the Kraken. So when we're looking at some of the numbers, let me just profile the Kraken first as we're getting into our pregame. Jared McCann just got placed on IR. Brandon Montour is back. They're still without Freddie Gaudreau, Riker Evans, and Capo Caco. They're coming off of a 3-0 win against Winnipeg, a pair of empty netters. It was 1-0. And that 5-game homestand, as mentioned, 8 of the next 10 will be at Climate Pledge. So they should be in good standing. And Seattle's been pretty good this year under Lane Lambert. Again, he was part of the power play penalty kill specialty for Toronto last year, and they certainly could use his services. And their place for Dan Baalsma and Dave Hextall from before, I think they're in good standing with Lane Lambert. I'd like to see that continue. Their leading point getter right now is Jaden Schwartz, 4 goals, 4 assists, 8 points, +2. For the Edmonton Oilers, it's been an up and down roller coaster so far. Connor McDavid, just the 1 goal, but he's got 11 points, 10 assists, -2. RNH leading goal getter, 5-4 and 9 -3. And Leon, 5-2 and 7 -1. A lot of minus in the Edmonton Oilers so far. But the one thing I have of note, Evan Bouchard, just 2 assists, no goals on the year, -7, and Matthias Ekholm, -5. So that top pairing of Bouchard and Ekholm not necessarily providing relief so far early in the year. So I appreciate you guys joining me today. We will have some NHL scoreboard to go across. There's a lot of them. We will go over some World Series as well. Maybe some NBA if I can get to it. We do got the late game tonight. Mostly everything has gone final. We do have a couple of games in the third. There's been a lot of good competitive hockey tonight. A lot of interesting score lines to go over. And we will certainly do just that.
Lambert said that tonight, mental discipline is the key for his group. He said after a long road trip, that they might be taking to maybe relax a little bit, but he said, no, that cannot be us. We've got to be ready to go. And it's that simple. You're playing against a team.
So Edmonton coming off of a 6-5 win against Montreal. They were able to get that win today against Vancouver, so they stay atop the Atlantic. And they're 3-0, as we mentioned, with Seattle against Winnipeg on Thursday. So there should be a lot of fun. Again, this is a Pacific Division battle. Last time these two teams met was in March, and Seattle had a 6-1 victory. Now, I know not all the teams and players are the same at that time, but the goaltending tandem's been the same, and a lot of the things that you know and love about both of these teams remain the same. And for Seattle, I noticed that Tentacle S is a little bit darker there on that side in the Emerald City, so we'll get a chance to look at that. I got the Seattle feed. We're underway now at Climate Pledge Arena. Is Darnell Nurse. We'll send this one back. Start again with Jake Woolman, who signed a 7x7 49, as it's picked up now for Draisaitl. Right up the gut. This one's picked off, and an opportunity to be lifted by Winterton for a moment. Kulak trying to find it. Darnell Nurse with the help. This one fought off by the cord. He was way out of the goal crease, almost toward the right side dot. Here's an opportunity now. Brandon Montour, former Florida Panther, Stanley Cup champion, joining off the rush. This is an opportunity toward the left side red line. Seattle holds it in. Savoie will get a piece of it for a moment as Vince Dunn. He is losing the puck as up right off the backhand to Connor McDavid, who gets shoved down to his wall. A little bit of a push. And Vince Dunn cleans him up. Eberle tries to put it the other way. As this one's picked off by Andrew Mangiapane. He's got it in full flight. 3-on-2 Ekholm breaking down the middle, trying to leave for McDavid, who's still recovering from that hit from Dunn. Howard at the point, and Bouchard will shoot this one wide. Opportunity now for Tolvanen. Push it ahead. 2-on-1 developing near Eberle. The trailer shoots. It scores! Jordan Eberle off the rush. It's Seattle's off and running. It's 1-0. Jordan Eberle from Matty Beniers. And nice to see the U of M man quickly get a point as the cord comes all the way over to celebrate with his boys, and no doubt, because the cord made a huge save on one end. Matty keeping his head up, able to easily get that one past Ekholm. And it's a 1-0 lead. Early, quick start for the Kraken as Matty gets this one past the sliding stick of Ekholm. No problem for Eberle. Captaincy gets on the board, and it's 1-0 Seattle. 18:30 left to go in the first. Eberle with his third from Beniers and Berkeley Catton. So you get a chance to see the rookie do some damage as well. And alongside Matty Beniers, it's still a pretty young team for Seattle. As this goes back from Ty Emerson, Stuart Skinner will have to play it across the glass. Nurse try to get this one out. Now it's Adam Henrique. Henrique will send this one among the kick plate as it's slowed down by Joey DeCord. Picked up now by Seattle. Catton gets taken down. And this is going to be a penalty called against the Edmonton Oilers. I don't really want to switch the broadcast, but I feel like I have to. It's a little choppy on the Seattle side, so we'll see what we get here as far as Sportsnet. If not, we'll go back to the Seattle side. It might just be the cameras in the way that it is in Seattle. So Frederick is going to go to the box, or Adam Henrique, will go to the box, and it'll be an opportunity for Seattle They're 1-for-1, just one shot for Edmonton. I flipped over to the Sportsnet feed to see if it'd be any clear, but if it's not, we'll go back to the Seattle feed. As this was just misplayed, and now RNH might be joining up with 2-on-2. Matty Beniers hustling to get back. He will break up the play. But are we going to get a sticking on the hands? It's going to negate the Seattle power play. That might be Matty going to the box and off of a hook. He was just trying to deny the pressure there from RNH. So Matty, he's got an assist, but he's going to go to the box here. So it'll be 4-on-4 for 148 and then 13 seconds, essentially 12 seconds of a Edmonton power play. As Beniers gets a little bit of a hook, a little bit of a soft sell, if I'm being honest here, but a slash called against Matty. So Draisaitl kicked out of the circle. It'll be McDavid against Chandler, Stephenson, the former Vegas Golden Knight. He was one of the big acquisition alongside Montour last year. Seattle did not have the year that they wanted, but this year so far they've been pretty good. The 2-2-2 in the 6-game homestands, 6-game road stand, not too bad. Now they get 8 of the next 10. As it's 17:30 left in the first. Stephenson now, and off the spin, Montour walks in, and he missed it. He might have hit the post as well as Stuart Skinner banging the stick off the best friend, Darnell Nurse. This will go just wide. He was trying to look for Leon. And now Eberle back out there in a 4-on-4. Montour able to get the offhand shove with Connor McDavid, who's already had to take some punishment in this one. And this will go back to Jake Wallman, former San Jose Shark, Red Wing, Blue. Again, he's got that big deal. Again, I liked him in Detroit, but considering where it is right now, kind of think you got to take Wallman where he is and leave him in Edmonton. And Detroit's probably happy they didn't have to pay the contract, all things considered. RNH, this one will get deflected and go back down to Adam Larson. Larson now will take this touch pass as this will be flipped up cross ice. Opportunity now, Seattle. Larson ends up helping to get the steal. Vince Dunn, he's pinched toward the right side dot, and a drop pass doesn't go to anybody. This will work out for Joey DeCord. This will meet it in between the circles. Now for Ellie Tolvanen. Tolvanen walks in, shoots glove side save for Stuart Skinner toward the right post. Ellie Tolvanen had that sight line lined up, but that was a good save for the glove hand. It's just 2 shots to 1. Seattle has the edge.
One early on leads to the first goal by Jordan Eberle, so need to work on that still a little bit. But the Seattle Kraken getting back at home after 6 games on the road, and that's usually a hard game to get into. Good start by them late in Edmonton. It'll be in the details. Have to make sure the details are square.
Face-off one here momentarily by the Kraken, but there's a broken stick shaft. Let's see who that belongs to. That's Leon Draisaitl, so we'll go back and get a new one. 4-on-4 for 10 more seconds. About a 12-second power play for Edmonton upcoming. As Matty Beniers in the box for a splash. Brett Kulak, nowhere to go. Ryan Winterton try to close it out. He'll get a chance to pick it up now. And Seattle's played a pretty good first period, although not even 5 minutes in. Jaden Schwartz will get it taken away alongside Matthias Janmark. Start again now for Leon. 25th on the penalty kill is Seattle, but he only had to kill 12 seconds of it, and that will count. Cartier lost it. Good save. The cord toward the right side has absolutely robbed one of the Edmonton Oilers. That was Frederick. This is an opportunity toward the left side red line and cleared in by Lane Lambert's squad. Given finish a hit there is Cartier. Sports Interaction -140 on the Canada side for Seattle being the favorite here right now. And again, it is very early, not even 5 minutes expired. Opportunity off the spin. Tolvanen lets it go. This one blocked. Hurt. One of the Oilers bounced it off a skate. Not a lot of protection. Struggling to get in front of the way of Skinner. As there is a lot of traffic out in front there. Wallman is the one that is really banged up, and he is not moving well at all. Limping his way. Now, we're not even close to the bench yet. This is toward the left side red line. Opportunity now for Phillip. Finishes his hit. Shot board now 2-2. Jake Wallman is hunched over, and he is in severe pain. Mangiapane send this one across the cord. Looks behind him. He does not cover it. And now Larson helps underneath to be able to make sure Joey's got the vulcanized rubber 14:37 left in the first.
Extend over. Here's the last opportunity. Jaden does have it. He's looking around for a second there. End up being underneath him, but sometimes still is better.
That was Ben Myers also help out there as long as to get that puck for Joy to Cord. And this is a defensive zone faceoff one for the Kraken. Opportunity to the left side of red line. This will be stick to side. McDavid was looking ahead, but that pass a little bit too far for him. Bounces to Joey quickly and behind the net now for Adam Larson. Trying to break out from the left to right. He got those dark jerseys as Manny Benier in the mix of the turquoise on the side of the numbers. Absolutely love those. I got a Manny Benier jersey, courtesy Cooper Hopkins. As this one's bouncing off the glass. Going to go to Vince Dunn, former St. Louis Blue. Backing across for the captaincy for Eberle. He's already got one. He just sticks it right to Edmonton, who's in the midst of a change. Here's Brett Kulak. Left side red line catapults it in off the wrist shot. Takes a fortuitous bounce for Edmonton, but this is Joy to Cord to glove it up. We will take a break. I'm back on the Seattle feed. It looks to be a little bit better now as they show Jordan Eberle's goal assisted by Manny Beniers. Take a break. It's 1-0 Kraken.
Is a family affair. Now Bud's living with prostate cancer. He still knows how to groove, and he also knows one's daily Xtandi. Xtandi treats metastatic prostate cancer that responds to a medical or surgical treatment to lower testosterone. Xtandi is proven to help men live longer. Xtandi may cause serious side effects, seizure, a brain condition called Kris, allergic reactions, heart disease that can lead to death, falls and bone fractures, swallowing problems, or choking. Stop Xtandi. Get medical help at once if your face, tongue, lip, or throat start swelling. Tell your doctor at once if you think have a seizure, quickly worsening headache, decreased alertness, confusion, vision problems, chest pain, or discomfort, or shortness of breath. Xtandi can cause harm to an unborn baby or miscarriage. Use birth control during and 3 months after Xtandi. Common side effects include muscle joint pain, feeling unusually tired, hot flashes, constipation, less appetite, diarrhea, high blood pressure, bleeding, falls, fractures, and pain. Whoa, that's blood. Ask your doctor about Xtandi.
Dude, Zach, T-Mobile home internet is so good. We can make the whole world. Yeah, go right ahead. T-Mobile's got home internet. T-Mobile's got home internet. It's just $35 a month, guaranteed for 5 years. T-Mobile's got home internet, just $35 a month, and it's guaranteed for 5 years. This or that. Night in Chicago, Kraken president of hockey operations, the great Ron Francis, inducted into the Italian-American Sports Hall of Fame. Boy, it looks good. How about those two bookends?
So the Kraken are showing it alongside Eddie Olczyk, the Italian-American Hall of Fame. Ron Francis is the one that got inducted. He's the current GM of the Seattle Kraken, former member of the Carolina Hurricanes as well, and alongside with Rod Brennamore. So pretty cool to see that. And Seattle, I would think, is progressing just finely as this is picked toward the right side dot offensive zone draw win, and the shot for Howard goes just wide. Again, the former Michigan State man breakout pass on a one-on-one as this is Schwartz. Here's a rolling puck. It'll be recollected now for RNH. RNH will take a sauce pass cross ice. Good look there for Kulak as they'll send this around the embankment. It's a 1-0 lead now for the Seattle Kraken. But here's a one-timer from the point. The cord shuts it down. And this push in the corner from RNH. He's trying to find on the right side boards as I pull up my rosters here in Seattle. We'll take a touch pass here for Schwartz. A little too far for Shane Wright. This is turned right over. And out to meet the shot was Joey DeCord as that one bounced off of Frederick. Get a chance to pick this one up. Cross ice now to DeCord again with a wonderful save with the right pad as this was toward the right dot. There's a bouncing puck. And now Seattle's got to do a little bit better job here just corral these passes. A little too careless for my liking in the center zone, just coughing up the puck and then giving a chance for Edmonton to go right back down the throat. Here's Draisaitl, a long shot put up by the court. He takes the outlet pass, and he might have iced it unintentionally. Joey Decord shot at the length of the ice. Shot board reads 8-2 after the Draisaitl chance. But Joey Decord has been fantastic early. First one was partially tipped, as you had Henrique there in the Janmark on the doorstep. And then toward the right side dot. That is where Draisaitl likes to shoot his 1T, and Decord goes over to meet that. Shot attempts are 13-4, and 9 of them have hit the target for Edmonton, but they're down 1-0. Alec Tolvanen gets the steal. Chandler Stephenson was the one guy out in front. Here's Mason Marchment. This goes up the stick shaft to Stuart Skinner, and up and out of play with 12-12 in the first. Joining her with you, watching the feed from the Kraken Hockey Network in Calm. It is a solo call for me, but if Cooper Hopkins does join in for a hometown team, I'll definitely be able to get some of his thoughts as well. It should also be on Hockey Night in Canada for the late game. I do have access to both feeds, just not CBC, but on ESPN Plus, they usually carry Sportsnet anyway. As Stuart Skinner gets a look off of the ozone draw win in Seattle. This is Vince Dunn. It bounced in off the screen, picked up by Matty. Gets around a windmill and a stick lift. Still trying to push this toward the wall, but Matty coughs it up right to Mangiapane. And we'll see what can happen here now for Connor McDavid off the spin and turn. Tries to throw, but Eberle is right there. Opportunity now to be finished off by Isaac Howard. He gets pinned to the glass, and Matty's pass. He gets the second effort. No contest there for Matty as he throws this one down the ice. This will be blown dead. Berkeley Catton cannot get there first. Number 77 is what the rookie is rocking. And you have a third-year player with Matty Beniers. So a lot of eyes on number 10 and number 77 for me as they get top-line minutes with Jordan Eberle and captaincy. That's a lot of trust in Lane Lambert. I kind of like it. 11:41. Left to go on this first. Draisaitl wins it clean. Ekholm fakes the slap shot right to Bouchard. Bouchard lets a bomb go. This one, I don't think it hit the cord as Eberle will try to flip it ahead. And this will be given right up to Evan Bouchard. It goes to McDavid. McDavid in half flight. Now drop to Draisaitl. Good stick from Jaden Schwartz will push Edmonton offside. And again, they've given up a ton of shots. Enjoyed Accord's made some excellent saves, but when they've had Draisaitl and McDavid to contest with on one-on-one, Jaden Schwartz had to step up like he did just there and get the stick and get it offside. So kind of like that. 52 goals last season, led the NHL for the German superstar, Leon Draisaitl. And you'd have to expect he probably gets another at least 45. That is a low mark, but you'd have to think that's how good he is. It depends on if Connor McDavid wants to score goals or not. He's got 1 goal and 10 assists. He can do both. He can pretty much do anything as this goes toward the right side dot. Kulak lost it for a moment. Hit from Ryan Winterton. As here's another hold. Winterton and Myers trying to work that up. Fourth line did a good job on that 1-0 win against Winnipeg on Thursday. That was at least for even strength. It was 3-0 totality of 2 empty netters. As Myers lost the puck for a moment. It's kept in. Bounces off the glove hand of Kulak. And he's going to need some extra help to get it out. But the fourth line making life difficult. And this is a bouncing puck. Almost went to Myers right in the middle of the slot. And Noah Phillip has to watch behind him as this one bounces off the referee. And Edmonton finally gets this to the Tentacle S at center ice. We are in the Emerald City in Seattle, Washington. My name is John. It's a 1-0 lead for the Kraken as this goes in toward the right side. Picked up now for a couple of poke checks. Montour, here's a blocker stop there by Skinner off the 1T from Montour. And Brandon, first to get to it now to the right side red line. Here's an opportunity for Shane Wright. As Jani Nyman will lose this puck there for a moment. So Nyman is another one of those guys alongside Berkeley Catton. They are waiting for Riker Evans to come back. But a lot of young blood. Jaden Schwartz, little knuckle puck. Chandler Stephenson tries to find it, but this will go back to Edmonton. Jake Wallman, who took the puck in off the right skate of the foot. He looks like he's feeling good now. Decord quickly plays it to Mason Marchment, former Dallas Star. As this will go back down the ice. Jake Wallman win the race. and it will go the other way. 9:32 in the first. We might be taking a TV timeout as it is 10-5 on the shot board, but I'm going to stay here as long as we need to. Brandon Montour, number 62. Good to see him back in the lineup after a 4-game miss of personal reasons. He is one of those top 4 in the defensive you could always throw him regardless of injury. Leon takes the draw, and Jake Wallman's slapper gets blocked as Mason Marchment won a pin to the glass and goes back to Vince. Vince Dunn with 9:20 left to go in the first. He is going backhand, forehand, surveys a 100-foot pass. This will work out nicely for Tolvin and try to send it across. And Mason Marchment had his hand in the air, finishes his hit. Darnell Nurse didn't like that. That was just after the whistle. Kind of more of a bear hug for Darnell Nurse than anything else as they whisper some sweet pleasantries to each other. Kraken might be getting a power play. That's what Mason Marchment's saying. And now Darnell Nurse and Marchment still yapping at each other. We'll take a break.
You know what? We should call your dad. Where's your dad? Whoa. No. Are you really his father? Fireball blazing out. Shoot it straight.
For Bud, harmonica is a family affair. Now Bud's living with prostate cancer. He still knows how to groove, and he also knows one state can extend. Extending treats metastatic prostate cancer that responds to a medical or surgical treatment to lower testosterone. Extending is approved to help these men live longer. Extending may cause certain side effects, seizure, a brain condition called Kris, allergic reactions, heart disease that can lead to death, falls and bone fractures, swallowing problems, or choking. Stop extending and get medical help at once if your face, tongue, lip, or throat start swelling. Tell your doctor at once if you pain, have a seizure, quickly worsen headache, increased alertness, confusion, vision problems, chest pain, or discomfort, or shortness of breath. Extending can cause harm to an unborn baby or miscarriage. Use birth control during and 3 months after extending. Common side effects include muscle and joint pain, feeling tired, hot flashes, constipation, less appetite, diarrhea, high blood pressure, bleeding, falls, fractures, and headache. What a bitch, bud. Ask your doctor about extending.
This or that. You can bet on that. You can bet on this. You can bet on that. You can bet on this. You can bet on that. You can bet on this. Or you can bet on that. I think you bet on this, yo. Where's that? Yo, we can make it. Tell me, what we are, what we be. Really a pitch, I mean, do the difference. You can bet on this. Or you can bet on that. In the Northwest.
As we come back in from the break, about 9:13 left to go in the first at the 10:47 mark. It's Isaac Howard, former Tampa Bay Lightning man, Michigan State. Now for Edmonton on the first line, he gets a hook against Chandler Stephenson. And Seattle's going to get their first full power play, hopefully this time, as many Beniers had to stop a break against Noah Phillip off the slash about 6 minutes ago. So Adam Henrique and D-zone draw this one won by Seattle. They've been much better in the face-off circle this year as Vince Dunn throws it right on. It's Henrique, Savoy, Bouchard, and Ekholm on the kill with Beniers, Eberle, Nyman, Stephenson, and Dunn on the power play. Matty Beniers probably will never have the numbers that I would hope that he would have as a number 3 pick, but still, he's a guy that plays in all situations, power play, penalty kill included, and he is a big reason of why the Seattle Kraken are where they are this year. Let's see what he can add. Again, he's on the off wing as Chandler Stephenson. Going to go ahead and take this draw. Again, he's going to be the captaincy for that. Chandler Stephenson, still one of the very best in the circle. That was completely dropped unfairly by the Zebras, and we'll have to do it again. So looking for a second straight ozone win on the power play for Seattle. They got a 1-0 lead. They're starting a 6-game homestand. 8 of the next 10 will be in the Emerald City. This will be sent back down to Joy Decord and start again length of the ice. Seattle going right to left in this first. Jordan Eberle, the captaincy, has got the first goal of the game. Eberle's got it now, as this will be Nyman. Lost it for a moment out of Dunn. Dunn looking from right to left at the point. Vince toward the left side. Dot is Matty Beniers. Working behind the net now. Goes back to Matty. Matty looking for an angle right in front for Eberle. They got knocked down to a knee, and Ekholm and Bouchard able to take that one away, but Matty, good stick on it. See if he can find a way to hunt this vulcanized rubber now as Bouchard. This is coughed up badly. Here's a turnaround for Nyman. And then RNH looking for a breakout pass for Mangiapane. And the cord, nice stick handle behind his own net. Here's a bouncing puck corralled now for Matty. He lost it off the outstretched handle. And Ty Emerson needs some help in behind the net. Here's Darnell Nurse. Flip this one down the ice right to Joey, who's at the left side red line now. No problem for Joey DeCord. He loves to play that puck. 40 seconds left to go in the full power play for Seattle. This one is off the stick shaft to Skinner. Here comes Edmonton on a 1-on-2. It's Connor McDavid off a sweep in, but Jaden Schwartz gets a stick in on it with Brandon Montour's help. 7:35 left to go in the first. Opportunity now for Tolvanen. They will leave it now for Mason Marchment toward the right side. Down at the point, Montour. That shot goes harmlessly wide and off the glass. Jaden Schwartz tries to find it toward the right side. Dot can't keep the blue line. And Seattle got to take this one back to center. 1-4 check there as Henrik. As he will take a look at it. Now to the left side red line. Seattle will dump it in. Penalty has expired. As Isaac Howard's back on the ice. Montour able to probe the steal for a moment. They throw right to the Kraken. A little diving play. Isaac Howard trying to brush it ahead. It bounces off of number 53 and right in the arms of the Kraken as the ref gets out of the way. The clearing attempt. 6:45 left to go in the first round. They're with you on a solo call. In the Emerald City, it's 1-0 lead for Seattle. But this is also Hockey Night in Canada, but we are watching their feed because I like listening to John Forslund. Cartier will watch this one go too far, and Edmonton has iced it.
Anytime the forwards game backwards, something forward don't do as often. They have that defenseman coming in out.
Ozone draw in. Josh McCurra will send this one in deep. Now Darnell Nurse takes ahead as Matty gets the steal for a moment. Try to get picked up by Berkeley Catton as that top line's back out there. Berkeley, as he gets to play more, probably will get some power play time. Berkeley, good pass to Matty. This is bounced and a little dangerous now as Edmonton might be able to get some numbers if they go quicker for Savoie. Cross pass right into the breadbasket of Joey DeCord. It bounced off a couple of skates. I think Noah Phillip with them as well. Good save for DeCord as that was a knuckle right into the air. And Savoie, good work there off the drive. And that indeed was Phillip. I was kind of guessing there. But eventually we'll get that across as we see these teams more and more.
And there's no kicking motion on that, just going through to the net. Gets up going off the stick. That's what you talk about, just throwing pucks into the air, driving to the net front. That's not the ability.
2 seasons from the Seattle Thunderbirds in the WHL for Noah Phillip. And they like some of the younger players that they have. Kris Knoblauch does. Don't blame him. Ooh, one of the Zebras goes down. It's Connor McDavid toward the left side red line. Lead for Ekholm. Throwing in deep. Chandler Stephenson takes a hit. Vince Dunn, as this is rolling end over end, just gets outside the zone. Now to number 97. Everybody checking up here for Leon Draisaitl. Good save off the one-timer. Got a piece of that from RNH to Joey DeCord. As this goes off the window and sent back down across neutral for Matthias Ekholm. Ekholm's clearing attempt bounces off the Kraken and it'll be sent back and flip deep. Everybody taking a change. Lambert squad and Kris Knoblauch included. As we got just over 5 minutes left to go in this first, Jordan Eberle's goal is the only one so far in the first. As Nyman will take a shot, and this will go off the stick of Skinner and up and out play. We're going to take a break here and come right back. It's still a 1-0 lead for Seattle. Ian, how are you?
The Blues are back, baby. been there. So bad.
I couldn't believe what you sent me. And again, I look across and I see it was 4-0. And the Red Wings haven't played well on the road. They get to come back home and then just a ridiculous comeback. I don't even know if that's the right word because that was really insane. I don't know, man. I mean, you can say that, and I'm not going to disagree with you. I just know the Red Wings really needed a win. Montreal's been playing very well in that Atlantic, and then even for Alec, I don't even know how to explain the Pittsburgh Penguins, but they're playing quite well.
I think you can guess what you want.
Yeah.
And because Sidney Crosby is a certified hockey god, we know.
Yeah, he still is. I'm looking and seeing what the score line is for the Dodgers and Blue Jays. Dodgers, after getting punched in the mouth last night, they have responded in a big way. They are 3 outs away from winning. It's 5-1. We'll give you any updates if that changes, but it looks like Dodger Blue are going to be going back home for 3 with the series tied at 1-1.
So, what is going on with the Buffalo Sabres?
They're actually playing pretty well right now, all things considered, Ian. I mean, they took 3 of 4 points against the Toronto Maple Leafs off the back-to-back. They absolutely smoked the Red Wings last time out, and they're playing some competitive hockey right now. It's good to see. I think everybody wants to see that in the NHL.
Yeah, just I can't trust it.
No, you can't, because it's early in the year. A lot of these teams that are down, when you think about the Tampa Bay Lightning and some of that, I didn't expect them to be last in the Eastern Conference, but there are some wild records right now.
Yeah. I mean, you saw what I sent you regarding the Ottawa Senators.
Right. And again, they were dealing with some things, and they upended the Capitals today big time. Last I checked, it was 5-1. We'll give you those updates at the end of the first of this. As you have the Beniers line back out there right now. Vince Dunn will send this one to the corner. Still a 1-0 lead for Seattle off of Jordan Eberle goal. Here's a chance from the point. Stephenson lets a rocket go. This one gets deflected off of Skinner. And Ekholm will spin and turn now. Then we'll try to find this in the zone end. Bounces off the referee again. Gives Seattle possession. It's a 3-on-1. And here's Stephenson toward the net with Beniers. That's a hook. It's going to be called against Edmonton, and Seattle going to go to the power play. We'll take a look and see how this one materializes. Again, it bounced off the referee off the clearing attempt. And you got Evan Bouchard, who was the one that got busted for a hook. Now, I mentioned in my notes, and I'll put this back onto the reporter side, as Evan Bouchard is in the box. He has not had a good start to the year. When you look at his numbers, he's got just 2 assists. It's all no goals and a -7. And now he sits in the box here. And Seattle's got an opportunity with 3:48 in the first to maybe get up by another goal. Jaden Schwartz will take this draw, and he will win it. As this goes toward the right side, you got Alec Tolvanen with him on the other side. As Schwartz looks for Tolvanen, now toward the right side dot. This is picked up around the horn. Brandon Montour fakes the slap pass. Goes to Ellie to the left side blue line. Touch pass now. Marchment lets it go, and Skinner will meet it toward the left side of the post, and they get a stoppage at 3:25. Mason Marchment looks like he fits right in now with the Seattle Kraken. Again, they got some different pieces. Lambert's their head coach. Mixed in there with the power play penalty kill side for the Maple Leafs. Lambert feels like you got these guys playing much better than last year. Although it is early, he will do this draw one more time. You got Marchment, Schwartz, Tolvanen, Wright, and Montour. Power play numero dos out there right now for Seattle. Draisaitl, McDavid, Emerson, and Kulak on the kill. A lot of ice time already for Draisaitl and McDavid. I know that's not a surprise, but you don't want to be double shifting too much here with these kills. As it's sent down the ice, again, Bouchard will be the extra man when he gets out of the box at 125 if Seattle doesn't score. This will be sent back now for Montour. Mason Marchment open across the right wing. Puck gets to him now, but there's two players in his face. He'll send this pass back. It bounces off his stick to Montour. He'll go get it. It's one of the only times that Joey Decord hadn't left his goal crease to play the puck in this first period. He's been pretty busy. He's stopped all 11 shots he's faced so far. Tolvanen try to get this one ahead. It bounces off the stick of Matty and now shanked it in off the glass. He flipped back down to Joey as he recollects toward the left side dot. Opportunity for Montour. Stephenson, I see him back there as they are mixing up the power play line now. I got number 1 out with 40 seconds left to go. And this second power play opportunity, Jani Nyman will send this one for Vince Dunn. Here's a drop pass. Vince lets it go. This one blocked. And now Edmonton trying to be off to the races with RNH. He lets a shot go off the top of the right of the crossbar. And now one-on-one the other way. Jordan Eberle waiting for some reinforcements. Eberle. Here's one for Matty, but he fans on it. And a long flip will get this one down the ice. So RNH almost scored a short-handed goal off the top right of the crossbar. Nyman will get this one off a 1-on-3. They'll leave a drop pass right across center ice. And have to start again. Picked up here off of Berkeley Catton, a slapper. Catton tries to walk in and he fans on it. Montour picked up toward the right side. Catton trying to find it. And Evan Bouchard out of the box. And Savoy bounces this one off a 1-on-3. Tried to fight his way to get to the puck. Henrique was trying to help. And this will be sent back down the ice. Not iced. 127, I guess it is. I was waiting for that red line side and the hand in the air, but we got one. 127 in the first. We'll take it the other way.
On another note,
Go ahead.
You're an NBA fan, you could not hear about it. And if you're not an NBA fan, you still couldn't help but hear about it. I think you know what I'm referring to.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that in another minute once this first period ends, because I want to get your thoughts. I've been following some of the story, but it's been all over the news as McDavid tried to set it up for a Draisaitl down to the final minute of the first. As this one's flipped back down now. And alongside Wright and Winterton. Winterton gets around Wallman. Gets a hit on Draisaitl. Winterton escapes with it. Here's a chance across. This one gets blocked. Picked up toward the right side. Dot for Larson. Now back to him. The former Oiler trying to make something happen. We're with Chandler. Stephenson walking into the left side. Dot. Somebody lost his stick. It bounced in front of McDavid. This bounces off of Skinner. And with the help of Wallman, he will collect 32.3. But we will talk a little bit in the intermission about the NBA scandal that's been going on. And one of the players that I know very well and love, who's a coach, also was arrested in that ring. So there's a lot to be discussed there. 6:29 of ice time with 1 goal for Jordan Eberle as he gets cam shots. Another ozone draw. This one will be won by Seattle. Here's a tip out of the air, and that one goes just wide. Shane Wright trying to get a recollect. Here for Jaden. Schwartz walks in, shoots. It goes off of the left pad of Stuart Skinner, kept in by Jimmy Alexiak. As this bounces off of Shane. 10 seconds left to go. Just kept in left side blue line. Here's an opportunity. Turnaround shot and goes just wide and up and out of play with 6 seconds left in the first. Don't mind watching what I'm seeing from Nyman and Berkeley Catton and some of these young players on the Kraken. They certainly look like they're at home right now. And I kind of wonder if it was Dave Hextall from a few years ago or Dan Bylsma from the last year's side, that if they would still be in that same structure. I think Blaine Lambert's done a decent job early in the year with the Kraken. Shots are 13-11 Edmonton. As this is won by Benier. He's got to shoot it quickly as Vince Dunn. And with 0.8 left in the first period, looks like they probably should add more. As Vince Dunn, that was a little bit friendly, even on home ice for Edmonton. Usually wouldn't say it that way, but they'll take it. And Lambert, I think, is saying, hey, put some more time on the clock and maybe get some adjustments. Probably not much to do with 0.8. Probably 1.5, 1.7 should be the number if they like to do it that way. But I don't think we're going to get that. So Chandler Stephenson against Matthias Janmark. Yeah, we're not going to really care about the 0.9 seconds left, and I'll tie up. That ends the first. Seattle's got a 1-0 lead. Jordan Eberle got the only goal.
Since we're at intermission, go ahead and dress. John, I'm sure you've seen them by now. The compilation videos. But before we get into all that, I'm getting ahead of myself.
What do you want to break down?
Go ahead and give a recap as to what we were referring to near the end of the period.
So there is a big NBA betting scandal, and I know, Ian, we were talking about that a little bit. Most will break it down in the intermission. So I know it's Damon Jones. I know it's Chauncey Billups, who's the current head coach of the Portland Trailblazers, and Terry Rozier, correct? Again, Terry took himself out of some games. We know prop betting is big nowadays, so that his team and associates, I'm not saying his specific team like the Heat, but his associates and everyone else that he works with can hit the money on their prop bets. And then for Chauncey Billups and everything else in these poker games, I hear that they were also tied to the mob and they were getting a bunch of money on NBA prop bets and the like. So lots of stuff for Adam Silver to have to clean up.
Yeah, so, okay. People have posted compilations of some of Terry Rozier's, let's call them the nails in his coffin.
Right.
And I gotta be honest, John, the things that I would see those, and you'll understand when I say this, I would be hard pressed to see a guy like Kwame Brown screw up that much and have it be accidental.
Right.
Because look, a steal here, a missed basket, even a horribly bad one, if it's, within the game, like, say, midway through, yeah, guys are going to put up terrible shots. What I mean, the mishandling, the errant passes, by God.
Yeah.
I've seen people in wrecked league, in wrecked centers. They who have no athletic ability whatsoever put up better passes than some I saw in those compilations. But we'll get to talking about this in a second. But I want your thoughts, because I'm sure you've seen the videos.
Ian, actually have not looked at the videos, but to your point, yeah, I'm going to have to tonight. But to your point, I do see a lot of things that boggle my mind throughout the NBA games. Like, that can't actually be real. You really didn't see that as the play, right? You really didn't see that as a defensive assignment. But yet, it happens all the time in the NBA, and it makes you wonder if there isn't more that's going to be called up.
I put Trees, because Tree posted the same thing that I'm talking about.
Okay.
Just give it a watch and you'll understand what I mean.
I definitely will. I'm going to make sure that I save that.
I mean, all you have to do is look at the first posted clip alone, and the entire composition is that.
Yeah, I see exactly what you're talking about, Terry Rozier. He just gives it up for no reason. He's just throwing it to nobody, and it's just complete lazy, and it looks like he's absolutely throwing the game, as you know that he is.
Yeah. So with that, I mean, and apparently there was one, he took himself out of a game where he said that he couldn't play because he was injured.
Right.
And the process is, and this guy was getting 200, supposedly he got 200K with the count. The next day or the day after.
So I don't know if what I saw initially, Ian, was true, but is Terry Rozier still getting paid as far as his NBA salary?
I can't tell you that. 'Cause
Okay.
I don't know for sure.
Because I don't want to speculate yes or no. I've been seeing a lot of yeses still, but I mean after that, you look at what you sent me there alongside with Tree and Ian and Zonia were talking about this. There really is nothing else for Adam Silver to do other than clean up the mess.
Yeah. Now, I'll have more to speak on Chauncey Billups, but I want to hear your thoughts on him first.
I'm a little bit disappointed and alongside the 04 NBA champion. Again, you get involved in some poker games and everything else. I heard Colin Cowherd talk about it a little bit. I think it kind of shared some of the same sentiments that these guys will spend some money. Sometimes you go to Vegas, you go to some other areas, and you do get involved with some people you shouldn't, and it gets to be high stakes. But when you start doing that and you're getting involved with the mafia and having some of those ties, yeah, that's got to stay out of the game. So, Chauncey, that's a foul. I don't like it. And I kind of wonder why he needed to do it, to be honest with you.
Well, there are a few reasons.
Is he not making enough money with the Portland Trailblazers or something? See, this is still going through with him. Okay, there we go.
Yeah. So, back to what it said. To be free, it could be blackmail. It could be different threats. But here's the thing. You know, he deserves whatever happens if it's found out.
Yes.
But here's the thing. The things that you could be, Nick Wright, on First Things First, he made a good point. Illegal poker games are all over the place.
Yes.
They just don't usually get rated unless something or someone tips an agency off. I mean, in Kansas City, in Detroit, I don't know where you are, sir, but I guarantee you there's somebody running an underground poker game out of their basement.
Yeah, I would imagine if we're getting closer to Motor City Casino and some of those areas downtown Detroit, I wouldn't doubt that.
Yeah. And what because he is a professional gambler. He's won World Series of Poker. His dad was a gambler, his grandpa was a gambler, he's a gambler. And he made this point. The only private games I go to are with my friends who I know are on the level and are betting. There are reasons that, if someone hears about a poker game, very likely someone will tell them, don't go.
Yeah.
Because it's a scam. And they explain this, the illegality of a poker game. Private poker games can be legit. It's only illegal if they take a percentage of the pot off the top before the game, or even during the, like if they say, we're going to take 12% off, we're going to take 12% of the cut of the pot right away. That's where the illegality comes into play, because they don't have a gambling license. And I think it wouldn't surprise me if there was an issue with federal taxation along with that.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into it. You're correct about that.
Now, Damon Jones, I truly don't know where he falls in on this. The ones that are getting the most scrutiny are Rozier and Phillips.
Yeah.
Where Jones comes into play, I don't know. But actually, John, what amazed me the most about this whole situation is how many people were surprised that the Italian mob was still around. Because some people believe that the mafia doesn't exist anymore. It does.
It does. And Ian, I don't want to get too ahead of myself on that, but I figured like in every state there's some sort of mafia. I just assume that they're all still around.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. The Italians are you hear about them in New York. They're all over the place. I imagine in Chicago there's a Polish mafia presence because of how many are there. And you have mafia connections in every state. The thing is, you don't hear about them because they move smart, and it's not the movies because having shootouts like they do in the movies.
Yeah, like Goodfellas.
Yeah, like Goodfellas. Bloodshed is bad for business.
Right.
Especially now, because with computers and upgrades in forensic analysis, if they expose themselves, they're done.
Right.
So, there are, as a matter of fact, I forget what year, but a few years ago, there was a sting that happened on the whole network of private poker games, and a bunch of capos got rounded up and are now serving time. So don't get it twisted. The mafia is still around, and they're still finding ways to make money. They just are smart about it now, because they can't afford to be out in the open. It's not like the old days. It's not like back in the 40s or anything like that. Because, and especially now, because of how quite frankly, how authoritarian our country has become. We can't really deny it anymore. They were trying to step out of line, they disappear.
Yeah, I don't disagree with any of that. I think Ian, everything else that you said is well taken. And I guess the one thing I would say to close out is, even though it's not the same, maybe you can say it's maybe connected or not. Even after the Tim Donaghy scandal a few years ago for fixing games, you can't tell me that once that was done, that sports were not corrupt. I mean, we know it is everywhere.
Well, see, here's the thing. Tim Donaghy was the everyone knew eventually that he did what he did because he had debts.
Mm-hmm.
We know this now. He had debts. And the reason, but apparently, and there's a clip of it somewhere. I'll have to go back and find it. But apparently, he and other referees targeted Allen Iverson because I think it was because they just didn't like him. But he's gone on record in interviews saying that, yeah, we would target specific players because we knew what their tendencies were.
Yeah. I think that there's a lot to clean up, as you said, and it's not going to change. It was something that shocked the NBA season. I guess the only thing I can say for Adam Silver, it's poor timing because it's right at the beginning of the year. But yeah, it was the biggest story, and it's going to be the biggest story for, I would say, the next several weeks until more information continues to come out.
So that's this intermission. The next one, I think we should go over what's been happening around the league so far.
Sure.
Obviously, there's we have our, would you believe, we have our teams that we knew were going to be at the top. And then we have our surprises, our early season surprises. And then we have our, oh, wow.
Yeah, there's a few of those too. I can't wait to go over that in the second rush. I'm still waiting for this second period to start in this game. I will give you.
I found it.
Show me that. I want to look at that.
So somebody unearthed an interview clip where it was a 60 Minutes interview.
Okay.
Where he admitted refs punished Allen Iverson in 2007 with unfair calls and allegedly betting against him in a secret gambling network.
I'm gonna watch that later for sure. The other ones I was able to watch that I want to actually hear with the sound. That's.
Yeah. 2007 he wasn't in Detroit by that time, right? Was that when he was still with the Sixers, or was that the Nuggets years?
No, there could have been the Nuggets years, but I believe he was still on the Sixers at that point. Detroit came after the Nuggets years. So we didn't get to see Allen Iverson until it was all over, and then when they traded Chauncey Billups for AI, I legit cried on the way to community college. So I did not have a good day that day. We'll give you an update, though. Officially, the Dodgers have even the World Series. They win 5-1. So a couple commanding wins both way. And again, that series will start, I believe, on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, as that goes back to LA. I'll pull this back up here and we'll get going. All right, so Leon Draisaitl does win the draw, and Edmonton has control of the puck. They're still down 1-0, courtesy of Jordan Eberle. Early goal against the start of a 6-game homestand. 8 of the next 10 will be in Seattle. They went 2-2-2 on their last road trip. Not too bad for the Kraken, as Chandler Stephenson tried to find Tolvanen cutting back door. Lindgren sends it in. This one bounces off Alec a couple of times. An opportunity here for Edmonton to escape. As Savoie will send this down. Joey Decord will stop it. Both goaltenders were pretty busy in that first. Edmonton with 12 shots, Seattle with 11, just with 1 goal. As this opportunity off the cycle, there's Phillip off the drop. This is spun off by Decord. Punch in the corner. Then Sally Podkolzin, second line out there for Kris Knoblauch's squad. As this bounces off of Connor McDavid, and Chandler Stephenson flips back to Ryan Lindgren, former Avs man. Chandler in his own end toward the right side red line. An attempt to get it out right to left come the Seattle Kraken. Here's a long shot. This one will be fought off by Skinner. A punch back down the ice. And a race off a one-on-one. It's Vince Dunn in his own end. Chip it off the glass, off the backhand right to center ice. Ekholm and Bouchard slamming it in the corner. Now Decord slowly plays it to Vince. He's got 2 players on him. He'll just go for the drop pass. As Seattle looks to go right to left again. They got the dark jerseys with the navy blue in the mix of the Mangiapane there and the turquoise. As this is sent back down. Chip out of play across the red line into the Edmonton bench. We get a stoppage at 18:14. You got Montreal, the New York Rangers, Chicago, and the San Jose Sharks upcoming on this homestand at Ekholm Pledge Arena for the Kraken. Jaden Schwartz on the off wing. He took a face-off on the power play side and won. This is bounced off the stick of Montour and then cleared in. Stuart Skinner will stop it. He needs some help from behind his own net. Edmonton able to find it. You got Trent Frederick off a long flip. Here is a long shot kicked out by Ty Emerson, and he will get the retrieval as it's thrown in the corner. Slap shot from the point, fought off by Decord. This goes right back to the top side blue line. Here's another one, Janmark. That one goes just wide toward the right side glass. Shot board now 14-11. Edmonton's been pumping shots at the cord when they haven't been able to score. They got the first 3 in this period. Just kept in left side blue line. Bounces off a couple players. Hits Shane Wright. He's got it now. We'll send it safely into the corner as Nyman gets taken off the puck. And alongside for Emerson. Now it's a 3-on-3. This will be flipped in toward the left side red line. Start again for Brandon Montour. Then all the change with their forwards for Lambert's squad. Lindgren's pass for Montour bounces off a skate. They'll have to start again from right to left. And Lindgren trying to make a pass from 60 feet. Goes off the stick of Jake Wallman, thrown in the corner. Now for Frederick. Frederick steps up. He got his first pass blocked. Runs into Wallman. And now he'll drop it. He was just going to get to his open area. Jake Wallman gets around the first defenseman. Blows past Winterton. And now Tomaszek sends it across. And a rolling puck gets deflected right to Decord's glove. He'll hang on. And think his D-man behind him. 16:43 in the second. Taking a look at the Emerson shot in off the rush. This was off the paddle of the stick, left side pads, and then Noah Phillip, and through a partial screen, it bounced off Brandon Montour, and that would allow Joey Decord to go ahead and scoop up the rolling vulcanized rubber, and he gives him a shout out as well. I like Joey Decord. You watch some of his channels and stuff on YouTube. He goes you through the full stretch, the routines, everything else that he does, trying to read the angles and stuff. If you want to see how the goaltenders work, this is a pretty good channel to watch. As this is picked up by Podkolzin. Here is a cut right across the middle. 3 Kraken players submerged to take Edmonton off the puck. As this is an opportunity now for Draisaitl. Send this one back. 16:15 left to go in the second. John there with you. I got Ian Genji with me who's listening in. We'll talk a little bit more toward the surprises in the second intermission once we get to it. But we got a pretty much full second period to go here as they get a shot of Bowie, the troll, here for Seattle. I was there once and alongside November 14th last year for Cooper Hopkins' birthday. It was a 3-1 win for the Seattle Kraken over the Blackhawks as it's picked up by Larson on the backhand. Another one of those players that wear the assistant captaincy A. Lost the puck there for a moment. Tomashek able to get a piece. And now Seattle gets us across the tentacle glasses. Beniers whacks it in. Berkeley Catton, number 77. Looking now for Jordan Eberle. A 7 and a 77 and a 10 on the top line. There's this big opportunity for McDavid. He gets his touch back. McDavid off the feet in the trailer. This one is whistled wide of the court. He was near the right side dot. Here's Berkeley Catton on a 1-on-2. Catton will spin. Lead for Matty Beniers, who walks in and he smoked it high up and on a play. He was looking for the top of the crossbar. 15-11, we get a stoppage. He's trying to get around the stick of Ty Emerson. We're looking at a sauce pass here. This Savoy from McDavid off the drop pass. That was a little bit too far, but there was 3 Seattle players right in the middle of the slot. You got to deny those danger areas, and they look like a much better defensive team. Again, there's a long way to go, and Edmonton can absolutely score a ton of goals in a row. But this just looks like a much better Seattle team from last year. I said that a couple times already. Jaden Schwartz trying to get this around with the help of Shane Wright. Back to Schwartz. Back to Shane. He throws it right out in front. This goes up the stick of Stuart Skinner. Shane now toward the left side dot, send it in deep and along for Nyman. Nyman tried to find it in between Jaden Schwartz, and Shane Wright will take a stick chop at it toward the left side red line. Darnell Nurse just trying to get this out of the zone. And they finally will sell Mangiapane, and Frederick will send this one back to Jake Wallman. So Wallman now can finally start the breakout as the forwards can take a change for Kris Knoblauch's squad. That's why Jake's taking a little bit extra time. His outlet pass from 50 is picked off by Seattle. Here's an opportunity that is picked up by Isaac Howard in full flight, and he skated too far ahead of it, throws it back to his defense. And Jake Wallman in the left side. Howard going to start again. We've got Henrique with him on the right side if he wants it. And this is sent back by Jimmy Alexiak. He was shadowing Adam Henrique. Here's a one-timer. That one goes just fine. Now toward the left side blue line. Here is Bouchard. Walks in, shoots a good block for Seattle. This is sent back in between Josh Mahura. Ty Cartier was the one that got a piece of that block. Now in toward the point again. Adam Henrique trying to work his way toward the net, provide a screen. And Joy DeCord will put it in the left side red line. Still with Edmonton. This has been a good shift for them in this second period. And now Kraken finally escape. Cartier, the trailer, scores! Ty Cartier! It's 2-0! Ryan Winterton to Ty Cartier. And the fourth line gets it done. They scored the only goal before the empty netters. And that Thursday 3-0 win against Winnipeg. And let's see, so Bouchard, this one blocked by the right skate of Cartier. That bit him pretty hard. And then Winterton able to push this one ahead. Cartier, the trailer with Bouchard. And you know what? That's another minus. That's -8 for Evan Bouchard on the year. Ripper, Skinner, I think it's a piece of it on the initial dive, but it goes in Seattle has a 2-0 lead. Shot board is 16-12. It's Winterton and Ben Myers. So they've been a good fourth line for Lane Lambert's squad. Try to find an entry off the backhand is Vitselli Podkolzin and lead for Draisaitl. And now Mason Marchment. Push this one ahead. Tolvanen. As this is shot by Marchment. Chandler Stephenson tries to get it. Marchment will dispossess. And alongside for Leon Draisaitl. Got Savoy with him on the right side. Look to give back maybe. Savoy pulls, shoots. This one blocked toward the left side red line. And toward the blue line now, Edmonton will flip it in off the clear. Draisaitl getting worked over as this goes for Savoy. Ty Emerson now in from the point. Shot goes wide toward the right side of the glass. Ryan Lindgren and Brandon Montour. Montour excellent way to delay there as this is picked up by Chandler Stephenson. He's onside on a 1-on-2. He needs some help toward the left side red line. Shakes himself free. Players were down. That was Jake Wallman, who was already back on the ice. And this will be sent back away from Mangiapane. Drop from Larson. Matty Beniers ran out of room. Larson needs some help now. Vince Dunn. Good back check from Larson and Dunn. Larson able to get the steal. Now Matty Beniers trying to push the other way. Matty on his backhand will shovel it into the corner. 11:55 left to go in the second. This is a very good game for Seattle right now. Berkeley Catton in from the point. Vince Dunn. That block picked up by Eberle. Job's not done. Beniers walks in, shoots short side. He hits it up and on a play off the glass. We'll take a break at 11:45. Ty Cartier with the second goal of the game. It's 2-0 Seattle.
So, we're going to be coming back on commercial break pretty soon, but I think something we can start off on, Ron. Can you help me pinpoint what has catapulted the Utah Mammoth into this?
I want to say, because I've said it throughout the broadcast and some of the free agency frenzy stuff, that I just like the talent that they have. And I know that you still have, Andre Turney, who is the former Arizona Coyotes coach, who's a no-nonsense coach, but they got a lot of talent there, Ian. And I expected them to make the playoffs this year. For them to be this good already, maybe not so much, but they look very, very good, don't they?
Yes, they do. And I'll tell you what, one team that I am happy is doing well because I predicted them to make it into the playoffs, and I hope they continue this pace. The Chicago Blackhawks.
Yes, another one. You're right. They're fun to watch.
Yeah, let me know when they're coming back on because I'm currently having technical difficulties with ESPN Plus. So let me know when we're back.
When I get back to the stoppage and play, Ian, I want you to keep your thoughts on the Blackhawks because I'm going to jump in right here. Stepping back in from the play, we're going to talk about some of those surprise teams. We just mentioned the Utah Mammoth off the break, but I want to get Ian's thoughts on the Blackhawks again. We'll talk more about that when we actually get into the intermission, but I'll get that immediately when we get a stoppage. As Myers will throw this one ahead. Ty Cartier gets his first of the year. Again, he looks at home on the fourth line. I know I've said that a few times in this game with Seattle, but I'm just impressed by the way that they played. And for Edmonton, we know about slow starts at the beginning of the year when you've been to a couple straight Stanley Cup finals, but still, here's a good pass from Joey to Cord. It goes end to end on the ice of Jaden Schwartz. And off the jump, a little bit of a cross check. Jaden Schwartz ends up picking it up as Shane Wright gets back up to his feet. And this will be a breakout pass. This one's fought off, and the net is going to get knocked loose. I think that was Tomasek. As yes, it was. He gets knocked in the net with Jack Roslovic, who was picked up a little bit off of free agency. Roslovic and Alexiak just ran out of room. But Ian, if you want to share some of your thoughts on the Blackhawks, if you got some of those off the top of your head.
So I've been able to watch a little bit of their games because they're not in the market.
Yeah.
They're not blacked out by the Kansas City market. You know, I would like to see a little more production from Connor Bedard in terms of goal scoring. I haven't seen much of that, but
is something that you, myself, and Alec were talking about. The re-signing of Ryan Donato
Yes.
was critical for them to start building something, and it's happened. But out of all the players that I didn't see coming, to be the leading contributor, I'd say, or one of them, Frank Nazar.
Yeah, Frank Nazar, dude, he was pretty good, and alongside the Big Ten, I was able to watch him a little bit, and he's a fun player as well. Chicago's got some serious talent.
And look, I know they're back-to-back champions, but you traded Spencer Knight.
Yeah. I mean, Seth Jones helped get them the cup, and alongside of Brad Marchand, you take the trade because you won the cup. But you're absolutely right. I said the same thing.
Spencer Knight for that contract.
Yeah, it's like give Spencer Knight some time and let him get through some of his personal issues. We knew he was a top-end goaltender, or at least it's what he was predicted to be. He certainly looks like that. Chicago might actually have their next Corey Crawford. Yeah.
Sorry, Soda Bomb is not.
No, he's not that. We'll get back to that more in a second as Vince Dunn now finds the entry for Jordan Eberle off the crossbar. Top of the left crossbar, right in off the rush. This team is humming right now. Just missed another goal. Vince Dunn, another one of those guys I'm sure that Ian can talk about. He's been very good. Remember with the Seattle Kraken. I definitely miss him on the Blues as this is picked up here across the tentacle ass. Sent back in. Nurse just coughs the puck up right to Seattle. They'll flip it back down. Opportunity here for Jake Woolman. This will be knocked away from Savoy. Matty Beniers. Here's Cartier on a potential break. But again, now it's 1-on-3. Beniers was the one that funneled it in. And Savoy try to get this one out. 9 minutes left to go in the second. A battle for the puck now. Seattle, excellent work. And Brandon Montour to take Noah Phillip right off the puck. Try to look for Matty Beniers, a couple of stick chops. And Edmonton is just forced to retreat. They can't find an entry right now. Shot board is 18-14 Edmonton, but Joey Decord has stopped everything he's faced. He's had some pretty good chances up against him, especially in the first. About 5 saves in the second so far. As Lindgren throws it in. And toward the right of the glass. One-timer, Cartier. Good save, Skinner. Closes the 5-hole. That was right between the dots. We'll take another break. So I want to say this real quickly as we've hit the break. I'll try to save the pipes a little bit, but for the Mammoth, you got 8 games played for everybody here. Not a lot of injuries. Nick Schmaltz, the leader, 5 goals, 8 assists, 13 points. That I didn't see, but Clayton Keller, again, we know how much of a stud he can be. 12 points in 8 games, +4. Dylan Gunther, +6, 9 points, 4 goals. 4 goals for Keller, 5 for Schmaltz. 4 for Gunther, 2 for Peterka, +7. Cooley's got 7, +4. Ian Cole's a +9. I mean, there is a ton of plus on this team. And when you look at the goaltending side between Vitek Vanacek and Carl Melka, both of those goalies are below a .900 save percentage. But it doesn't matter right now because the entire team's plus and everybody's scoring.
Yeah. So we look at the very early standings right now.
Yeah.
Montreal is leading the Atlantic Division. I'm not sure how much of a surprise that is, considering they squeaked into the playoffs last season.
Yes.
They were just a few good moves away from being a true contender. Your Detroit Red Wings playing very well to start. But again, you expected that with them coming in, 2 more years to get a cup. After that, well,
we will see. I'm going to let you continue, Ian, but I agree with you on Montreal, and I agree with you on Detroit. You expect them to be better. You and I are not arguing 1 and 2 in the Atlantic. I don't think we've seen that, but it's very early, just 9-10 games in. But yes, they've been remarkably improved.
Yeah. So Florida's leading see how that shakes out. New Jersey at the top of the Metropolitan again. I can't really be.
No, I agree.
Surprised with that. John, they don't die. Why can't Pittsburgh ever just be in the twos? It's like they look so ready to hit the big red button, and then freaking Kyle Dubas comes in and secures Erik Karlsson by giving away some of the worst contracts on the team.
Yeah.
And it just says, you know what? Let's just sign Justin Brazeau and see what happens. He scores the first goal of the season and was on a clip to score every game he's played. I think he hasn't scored in one game, which is...
I'm sure Alec has sent you the messages across, but he goes, what's going on with just a Brazeau? Where is this? I can't believe it either, but when you look at Pittsburgh, they got a 4-1 record this year on the road. That is how you end up doing damages. They're 6-2-1. They, I believe, let's see if they got the win in the shootout today. They might have lost to Columbus in the shootout. Yeah, they did. They picked up a point. But, the Penguins look very good. And you mentioned alongside Malkin and Crosby usually play well, but their depth is good. And then you pick up Arthur Shelops from the Abbotsford Canucks. He hasn't been bad in goal.
And Tristan Jarry is living up to his contract. That's a surprise.
And a lot of things are working right now. Another one of those teams, I would have to say it's early. I don't know if Pittsburgh can hold that, but I'd like to see it.
Yeah. And then, of course, the early wild card race is just chaos.
Good for the Islanders early. I like that.
Yeah, the Islanders, the Flyers, well, Buffalo is right there in the mix too, but again, we'll have to see. So, there's that very early. We'll get to the rest of the West later because I think the action's about to start.
7-10 left to go in the second. Again, it was a couple of goals, one between each period. Berkeley Catton with a ripper of a wrist shot. It had to be in the high 80s. That is right in the stomach of Stuart Skinner. And Seattle is playing pretty well. Again, you mentioned that a few times, but here's a turnover on the right side from Ekholm, and Skinner makes the save. But this Ekholm-Bouchard pairing, that's in Edmonton right now, looks like a construction pylon, and that is me being very kind because I just don't see it right now early. Again, if you're Kris Knoblauch, you got the extension because the team has made back-to-back Stanley Cup finals. But you just got to get better defense than that. Leon Draisaitl going to try to take this D-zone draw. He can't win it. This was right next to Montour. Hits Skinner up in the face. As this one is toward Tolvanen. Good stick chop and then wide and alongside for Nyman. Nyman now on his backhand toward the left side down for Brandon Montour. Play crisscross. Work for Chandler. Stephenson try to throw it out in front, but no dice. As Edmonton coughs it up again. Tolvanen. Stephenson toward the left side dot. Little spin and turn. Work on his forehand now. Survey. Send a cross ice pass. This one just high and up into the netting, looking for the top right of the post. Trying to bounce off puck, pulls in from Montour as we get a stoppage at 6:30 in the second. Julio Rodriguez is in the building. It's unfortunate for the Seattle Mariners because I really wanted to see them advance, if not for Cooper Hopkins as well.
Yeah, that would have been an absolutely amazing World Series contender. Cooper Hopkins is not having a good year. We'll get more on. We'll discuss that at the next break.
Yeah, we have to discuss that as well. I had a long talk with him after he made his ESPN Plus debut covering men's college soccer, and it's been a long season, but Ian and I will get to that and profile some of that as well. We got 6:05 left in the second. Seattle's still up 2-0. This is in the O zone of Edmonton, and now picked up for the moment for Ty Emerson. Glove save. Joey Decord made it look easy. No traffic out in front. We will take a commercial break as players come together and chat about it. Seattle's still up by a pair. So I know we're going to spend the majority of our second intermission on the NHL. That's where I want to go. I'll just give you a quick NBA update for anyone who's listening in here. Bulls are 2-0 on the year. They win 110-98 over the Magic. The Nuggets look like they're going to get their first win. They're up 127-106 on the Suns. Thunder won their first 3 games. Anyone who's not picking them to repeat, I think, is absolutely delusional. They beat the Hawks 117-100. A couple more for you. The 76ers improved to 2-0 as they beat the Hornets 125-121. And the Grizzlies upend the Pacers, who are 0-2 to begin the year. They lose 128-103. Maybe life without Miles Turner for the Pacers is not exactly what they would like so far.
There's also the very obvious absence of one Tyrese Halliburton.
Yep.
Yeah. It's like I said, when the injury happened, Pacers fans, just prepare for the worst and prepare. You know what? Use this year to just suck.
The top pick?
Reload.
Yeah. They could put themselves in a great spot and get right back to where they were.
Yeah, because you have a legitimate excuse. Your star player is out for the whole year. Well, what exactly are you going to do?
We've got about 5:13 left to go in the second. I'm looking at this jersey, this third jersey that's in store now for the Seattle Kraken. It's a dark black in the mix of the turquoise and the red. So they've taken that and exchanged it with the Tentacle S and put that as a dark black. That looked pretty sick, but I don't think it's going to replace the Night of Veneers one that I have, as this is sent the other way. Knocked down as Adam Larson might be going to the box. Look like a roughing call against Andrew Mangiapane, and Edmonton should be going to the power play. That was clear as day, right in behind the cage of Joey Decord, as Lane Lambert looks on. Again, not too groomed there as far as the full beard. That was a good hit on Mangiapane, but then I think he got a trip and toward the right side of the leg more so than the check, which is going to send him to the box. So you got Tomasek, Draisaitl, Bouchard, RNH, and McDavid on this power play side. 0 for 1 with no shots. And this is an opportunity for Edmonton to put themselves right back into this hockey game with 5:40 left in the middle stanza. John and I are with you alongside Ian Genji. It's Draisaitl, McDavid, RNH, Tomasek, Bouchard, Cartier, Stephenson, Lindgren, and Alexiak on the kill. Opportunity for McDavid to Bouchard toward the right side, dot back number 97. There's a flip to Evan, but he's going to need some help. It got partially deflected on McDavid, recollects toward the right side dot. Has Draisaitl with them. All they're doing is passing it back and forth from this right dot. To the left side blue line, McDavid has to spin against the glass. Now to Draisaitl. Bouchard, left side blue line. RNH, Bouchard, fake the slapper. Draisaitl, that was wide off the back post of Joey Decord, who was jumping on that like a frog, but he didn't have to find it. Here is a pass for Draisaitl. Bounces off the stick of Chandler. Stephenson, he signals he wants off. It's going to be a quick change, though. As Tomasek, this will get shoveled back off an errant pass. And Bouchard will recollect toward his own blue line. Have to start again. A minute has expired. No shots yet on their second power play. No shots yet from the first. As it's Draisaitl. He goes for a short side lift, and he missed that left crossbar. He was trying to get Joey Decord in the butterfly napping up top. Bouchard. Now from the point to RNH, one more touch. Bouchard wide open. He scores! A big bomb. And Bouge gets his first of the year. It's 2-1 now. Puck goes out of play at 4:15. We're going to jump into this play-by-play in a second. It is Bouchard from Leon and RNH. Brett Kulak will find this in his own end as Bouchard had just scored on the power play. And we'll see what happens next as Jaden Schwartz lost the puck with Sully Pot Colson right up the gut. Try to find an entry now for Frederick. He'll spin and turn, chance from the point. This one gets blocked out in front off of Shane Wright and put in toward the left side red line. And up and on a play with 3:44 left in the second.
All right, John, when we get to the break, first and foremost, we need to talk about Mr. Hopkins' Flames.
Yeah, we will definitely do that as well. We got 3:30 left to go in the second as this is sent back in behind the cage of Stuart Skinner. Seattle has just conceded one to Evan Bouchard on the power play, and this will be flipped up toward the left side red line. Edmonton just one goal away from tying this up. Here's a good pass from 50. You got Jack Roslovic on the other end. Again, it's an embarrassment of riches for the Oilers now, as he was just added from free agency. Berkeley Catton, nice work. Try to get this out of his own end. Seattle still has to try to find a way to get this out. Eberle can't do it, as this is McDavid in between a couple of players. Kick this one ahead. McDavid's got it now. He lost the handle there momentarily. Just races it toward the left side boards as Darnell nurses. Shot goes wide. Sent back in between Ekholm. This is a race here for Mangiapane. McDavid still trying to get around Larson. Mangiapane coughs it right up to Seattle. And they will bounce this off a couple of skates. Berkeley Catton try to get onside, and Beniers will send this one cross ice. Vince Dunn plays this to himself off the skates, but a good back check there for Edmonton. 2:20 left to go. This is at the left side red line in the second period. Seattle still up by 1. Here is Chandler Stephenson from the point. That one blocked, friendly fire off a Seattle player. Alec Tolvanen now on the chase in his own end. And this will be Edmonton looking to break up from left to right. And the road whites in the mix of the blue and orange striping. Chandler Stephenson, good fake slap shot, good dangle, as this is picked up by Stephenson. Now toward the left side red line, got to send it back for some support. Stephenson lost it. Savoy fans on the 1T. Is this one on the red line side for Bouchard? Try to pick it up on the right. Vasily Podkolzin now. He's in a battle with Savoy, trying to hope to get this vulcanized rubber out in Seattle. Mason Marchment will funnel it down the ice. Icing will be waved off, and Matthias Ekholm will push this ahead. Leon Draisaitl. Here's a knuckle puck from 150, and this will be iced against Edmonton. 125 left in the middle stanza. Leon Draisaitl trying to win a D-zone draw. Seattle gets another important one. Jimmy Alexiak, this one deflected. Turnaround shot blocked away from Winterton before it ever hit Skinner. 3-on-2. And Edmonton's going to like to dump it in. Joy DeCourt plays it quickly. Throws it right there to Henrique. Got some possession. A good back check there for Seattle to alert the danger. And Winterton overskates it. As we got 60 seconds left to go in the middle frame. Running with you alongside Ian Genji. Thankfully, he's listening for this one. We got a lot of hockey to get to in the second intermission. Shot board is 21-18. Jaden Schwartz. He'll work his way on the forehand and just rim it around the end boards. Jimmy Alexiak, last man back toward the defensive side. And this will be sailed out to Henrique. Bounced up into the air and chopped. Jimmy Alexiak now to Matty Beniers. 30 seconds left. Right up across the middle. A good stick lift there from RNH. Matty Beniers never saw it. It's 1-on-2. They'll just like to shoot it right on Decord, and Decord will funnel this one down. Great pass. Here is Cartier off the drop. Eberle now. He gets canceled off the puck by Darnell Nurse. 10 seconds thereabouts left in this middle frame. Edmonton got one more chance. Mangiapane off the drop. Connor McDavid down to 5 seconds. He's at the right side dot. McDavid backhand through the blue paint. This one sent on outside of the cage. No goal. We ran out of time as the puck rolled in off the post. McDavid was kind of dangling with it a little bit there, just trying to buy himself some time. It hit the left side post, I believe, rolled in, but it was after the whistle had expired. Let's see what this bounces off of. This goes off the glass, off of Larson, off the boards as well. It was Pinball Wizard, but it's still going to be a 2-1 lead for Seattle. Let's give you one little update here as I'm just updating my notes for this game story. The shot board is 21-18 for Edmonton. Hits, there's not a lot of them in this game. Edmonton's got the edge there. 10-7. And face-offs, there's been a ton of those. Kraken just edging that one, 21-20. Power play opportunities, 1 for 2. Edmonton. And 0 for 3 for Seattle. So let's get into this. We got everything else updated. We'll be ready to go once the third period starts. Should be a good game down the stretch. There's been a ton of scores that we could go over, but if you want to go over teams and headlines, we talked a little bit about the Mammoth. We talked a little bit about the Blackhawks. I don't.
Surprise I have so far is the Anaheim Ducks. Now, they are confusing to me because the only thing that's really changed is their coaching situation. Guess we can go ahead and talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
New head coach of the Anaheim Ducks is, I'm remembering this right.
Yes.
It is Joel Quenneville.
Yes, it is. Regardless of the circumstances, I think Pat Verbeek, whether it was right or wrong, we've had a lot of conversations about this. I know Alex felt very strongly, and I'm sure you have some strong feelings. We know what's happened with the Blackhawks situation, but you're bringing a team in to try to make them better with some young talent, and it's hard to argue when you bring somebody like him in that the team doesn't get better.
That is true. So, yeah, and I am. Look, past transgressions.
Sure.
You know, they happen. You know, should he be coaching? Not really for me to say. I got no power over it, and the Ducks needed someone who knew what they were doing with the young core.
Yeah.
And you know what, they got that. So that's a surprise. But here, Calgary.
Where do you want to go with that? Because I got a lot of thoughts because I cover the team a lot alongside with Cooper. But where do you want to go with it first? I'll leave you the first say.
Well, let's just start off with this. Calgary, you have played 9 games and you have a negative 18 goal differential.
You want to know the wildest thing before you continue, Ian? Is the first game and Cooper and I covered opening night. That was their only win against the Edmonton Oilers.
They've lost 7 straight games.
Yeah, they've lost 8 straight games now.
8 straight games.
Yeah, they won against Edmonton when they were down 3-0. We covered that opening night, and Calgary looked pretty good on that, but since they've lost 8 straight.
John, you covered this. You covered the team with Cooper Hopkins. Please shed some light for the viewing public who does not watch them every game. What is wrong with this team?
This is a team, and hopefully Cooper could be listening in at some point. He might be agree or disagree with some of it. They need to bottom out. Last year, I think Calgary, they were just outside, and you know this better than anybody, Ian. If it wasn't for that series at Enterprise, when the St. Louis Blues won that back-to-back in the middle months of the season, Calgary could have been in the postseason. They were only in it because of Dustin Wolf. They were already a team out of 32 that was hovering around 28th, 29th in goal scoring. Now they still can't score goals, and now they're also not getting the goaltending from Dustin Wolf that they got last year when he could have been a Calder nomination. So this is a team that doesn't have any goal scoring, and they need to bottom out. Problem is, you look at some of these teams now like Tampa, and I know it's early, or even San Jose, who should be better. You're in a draft lottery, Ian, and you're not necessarily guaranteed that number 1 pick that could be Gavin McKenna out of Penn State. And if you don't get that, Calgary does have Zane Prek. They got Matvei Gradin. They got some other guys that could be coming up in the system. I don't think Conroy's done a bad job, but they will need to start trading assets. The one thing I heard today, and I'm going to let you jump in, and alongside Elliot Friedman for Sportsnet, mentions that Nazem Kadri is going to be playing, I believe, in game 1000. Nazem Kadri previously had a no-trade clause, no trade movement, no team movement. As soon as he gets to that 1000th game, which should be sometime in a week and a half, he will then waive it and then allow himself, I believe, to be traded to every team with the exception of 12. So I expect some players to be on the move. Nazem Kadri should still give them a fair price.
All right. So, with that being said, Calgary right now. So they are looking to be the worst team in the league and get a high draft pick.
Yes.
That is a plan. San Jose, you know what? At first I was looking for significant improvement, but now that I think about it, who do they have as a veteran presence in that locker room? I mean, who's their elder statesman?
I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm going to go ahead and look at their lineup and see what we get. I hope it's still not John Klingberg, for the love of God.
I don't think he. I think. Actually, I don't know if he's still there.
I'm going to look right now. I'm trying to type this as fast as I can because they do have Tyler Toffoli, who I like, but it's not one thing. So let me look at some of the. So yeah, John Klingberg is on this team, but he is injured. And then you got Nick Leddy as well. The craziest part, which I know this doesn't count, but I do want to mention this anyway. They technically have the contract of Carey Price which I didn't know that was traded to the Sharks and alongside Mike Greer. But it looks like for ones that are actually suited up, it's Dmitry Orlov and Jeff Skinner.
The only one that is even marketable,
Orlov?
that is even valid for me is Jeff Skinner.
Jeff Skinner?
Oh my God. So basically, it's a bunch of kids and veterans who are way past their best days.
Do you remember when Ty Dellandrea was supposed to be one of those pieces for the Dallas Stars? He's only got 3 points and a -2. It looks like Tyler Toffoli, 3 points, -4. Alex Winberg, -8. Macklin Celebrini has had a pretty good start to the year. He's got 12 points in 8 games and is even. Will Smith's second on the team with 8 points. But there's a lot of guys on this team that need some help. And oh, by the way, I guess I'm saying this jokingly. What about Vincent Desharnais and Ryan Reeves?
Because sure, a team that is relying on youth and trying to build a game around speed has the gooniest of the goons.
Right.
In the league.
They're not going to do a damn thing. And I'm looking at their goaltending tandem, and no disrespect, but I mean, you remember you had Mackenzie Blackwood, correct? Now you got Alex Nedeljkovic and Yaroslav Askarov is 4.81 goals against, 857 save percentage. And Nedeljkovic is tops with the goals against the 4 and an 875. So that's awful. Just awful. You sent me the stuff last week with the Ottawa Senators, and at least now, I mean, they bludgeoned the Capitals today. I think they won 7-1. They're 4-4-1 now. Again, that team is much farther along, but they have no goaltending on the Sharks. They have veterans that aren't going to do anything like you said. And you got 2 kids in Smith and Celebrini, and the rest of them just, I guess, got to figure it out. So, remember.
That's a different situation. It could be, sorry, I'm looking at the LA Kings right now. I know it's early and they've got the firepower to make some noise.
Cooper said that was his team to miss this year, to not make the playoffs.
Well, you know what? Cooper is making the right call, because how do you give a 4x4.5 to Cody?
When you got Ken Holland, I know him very well, so he likes to do that.
Oh my God! But all right, so all right, if we look at the East, I think there's at least 1 or 2 teams we can look at and say they're not going to be there by the end of the season. For me, I don't think Pittsburgh is going to be able to keep this up, and I think they're going to be.
They're going to miss out, right?
I think they're going to miss the playoffs.
Okay.
I don't know what to make of Utah just yet. I don't know if this is simply, early vibes, or if this is going to be their what do you call it?
Breakout season?
Going to be consistent, but I don't know. But they have a better shot at making the playoffs than the Ducks. I don't see the Ducks continuing to do what they've been doing.
No, because right now they got 9 points. And then you have the Edmonton Oilers, who are just outside with the same spot. And you got some other teams early here that you think are going to be able to make a standing. The one thing that shocks me right now is the Nashville Predators with a 4-3-2 record. I thought that they would be worse.
I don't know what's keeping them afloat right now. Chicago can score.
Yes.
They can score, but if you look at their wins, they've been tight. And right now, that indicates that Spencer Knight is having to expend a lot of energy night after night, and I think he's going to burn out.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
Depending on what the rest of the core does, because from what this tells me, their defense is still a bit of a mess. They can score. I don't think they can really defend. So, and I don't know any good candidates for a good defensive piece, because they're not going to want a rental. But if they keep up this pace, I would say look at trading for a backup goaltender because you can't do Soderblom. And if it comes to that point and my predictions are right, I'm thinking you might make a call to Pittsburgh and ask about Arthur Shelovs.
Yeah, I don't think that would hurt. I think you're absolutely on the money for that because you're right. Spencer Knight is going to get burned out, but I do think that they got their goalie of the future, as we said, and I like the looks of that team, and I'm hoping that continues. I just want to make a quick note while I pull it up for Nashville. So they're 30th out of 32 in goal scoring. They're 4-3-2. They're 2-3-4 for goal scoring. You want to take a wild guess who has the worst power play in the league? It is Nashville, 7.4%. And Roman Yossi just got injured, by the way. So, yeah, I don't think Nashville is going to hold. My one that's not going to be a shock, I shouldn't say this anyway because Ian and I both already know this. Boston Bruins are not making the playoffs. I definitely have them out. Tampa started the season 2-4-2. They are last in the East. I don't see how that continues. But the one thing for New York, I just want to say this really quickly and you jump in. The New York Rangers are 0-4-1 at MSG. They have 8 points on the year. They're 3-4-2. They can't win a game at home.
Yeah. And another team, I gotta be honest, John, I think there is a very realistic possibility that we do not. I think there's a very realistic possibility that Toronto misses the cut.
From what I'm seeing right now, I agree with you.
Because the way they have looked, sure, you still have Nylander, you still have Matthews, you still have Riley. But, I mean, have you seen how putrid or awful Max Domi? I think he only had one goal on the season.
He should be scratched, Ian.
Yeah.
He should not be playing.
No. And what's even worse is that, and I don't see any way. I mean, think about it like this. The Ottawa Senators, 4 games in, had given up 20-plus goals. And yet right now, simply because of, and right now they are ahead of the Maple Leafs in the standings. Why? I'm not quite sure. Maybe it's because of home wins, road wins, or tiebreakers. But Ottawa gave up 20-plus goals to start the season. They can't defend. They can't defend their net. And yet somehow Toronto is below. Philly, Buffalo, and Ottawa, and the Islanders.
And I want to get one more point in before I go back into play-by-play to flip into Sportsnet because the Seattle feed was completely gone. as we get a whistle at 1928. But did you see those comments from Anthony Stolarz after he got ran into a few games ago? He flat out said, come on, guys, have someone come out and protect me. And it looks like there's absolutely no fight. You got Craig Berube back here on the bench, and you got him kind of dealing with all this stuff that they've been used to in Toronto. They just look terrible to me.
I thought Berube would be able to come in and work with the talent that was there, but I think the talent there is just complacent.
Yeah.
I think they've settled into their ways, and I don't care how good of a coach you are. When a culture has set in like that, it is so hard to break it without. As crazy as this sounds, I don't know if you can keep the rest of the core four there and have things change for the better.
No, I would even think Toronto's not going to do this. We've been getting a lot of stoppages here, not even in the first minute. But Austin Matthews, you got the captaincy on. You're gonna score some goals. You're gonna show some fight. You're gonna do anything? Question mark.
I mean, yeah, and then I just if they don't get, they're in the same boat that the Washington Nationals were in a few years ago, you remember,
Yeah.
or the St. Louis Blues were in 2019. This is it. You have already lost Mitch Marner. You still have Matthews. You still have Nylander. But where is everything else going to come in?
Yeah, right now it can't just be John Tavares who's had a good year. It's got to be some of the other guys and some of their role and linchpin that they brought in. Jordan Eberle now off the rush. This just eludes many veneers, but I appreciate the intermission discussion that we had there alongside the hockey breakdowns. And also, my apologies to Cooper Hopkins. I'm talking about the Flames. We'll cover them soon enough. Probably be a couple more weeks because I'll be starting my Sharks assignments, but we'll definitely get back into those at some point. As it's 17:50 left to go in the third, I had to flip to the Sportsnet feed because Seattle's was completely gone. As this is picked up the other way now for Stuart Skinner. It was a power play goal for Ekholm and Bouchard that answered the one for Ty Cartier in the second, and it's still a 2-1 lead for Seattle. Shot board is 21-18 in favor of the Oilers. As this will be picked up in behind the inboards for Nyman. Lost it for a moment. Shane Wright tried to pick it back up. And just eluding the blue line side as the crowd oohs and ahs, but this will go back to Jamie Alexiak. Have to start it again for Josh Mahura, another one of those former Florida Panthers. You got him in the mix with Brandon Montour as Jake Wallman's pass ahead. A little bit too far for Isaac Howard. Wallman stays on side, working his way toward the left side dot now, but his backhand gets shoveled away, and Seattle escapes the pressure. One of their players gets hit near the bench and flipped back down to Jake. Jake with a long outstretched pass will be touched. This is Noah Phillip. His rebound gets blocked right to Edmonton back in behind the net. Phillip now trying to collect with Adam Henrique toward the left side red line. Henrique will backhand this across the inboards. Flip back into Noah Phillip. Some good third line time for Kris Knoblauch's squad, but Seattle will flip this one down the ice. Stuart Skinner likes to play it near his left side red line as Larson finds the entry. It's 3-on-2. Larson ripping around the embankment as this eludes Stephenson for a moment and now picked up the other way on the backhand. Here is Podkolzin. His pass will get deflected, but Sally picks it back up. Now for Evan Bouchard. One more touch pass for Ekholm. And here's a bouncing puck. That'll be recollected down the ice by Edmonton. Here's a battle into the neutral zone. And Seattle finally gets a chance to pick this up off of a long flip. Glove down out of the air by Ekholm. This is just a battle right across center ice. Mason Marchment can't clear it. Picked up by Edmonton one more time as Ekholm does not gain the red line, but he gets a fortunate bounce. It goes off the stick of Dunn. Rolling puck. See if he can recollect it. He goes down in a heap. And now Edmonton's got the puck near the left side dot. Draisaitl's pass. One touch ahead and try to push back to Leon. Lets it go through the traffic, and that one just past Joey Decord. Ty Emerson. And off the spin and turn. Here is Roslovic now. On the backhand for Leon Draisaitl. Shoveled into the right side corner. Edmonton's got a ton of puck possession right now, trying to get some shots. McDavid just comes off the bench. Here's a touch pass. He was looking for Tomasek. This one will be sent toward the outside of the cage, right to McDavid into the left side. High side blue line now for Kulak. Here's Connor on his backhand, works his way to the left dot. He loops in behind the net now, Connor McDavid. Little one-hand drag to Brett Kulak left side, tipped out of the air a couple times for Mangiapane. And this one finally gets taken away by Seattle. Seattle now, Eberle, one shot, bounce up the stick shaft to Stuart Skinner. 14:25 left to go in the third. John, they're with you alongside Ian Genji. It's a 2-1 lead for Seattle. It's been a pretty good hockey game so far. Trying to close it out on Hockey Night in Canada. Janmark send this one in. Isaac Howard will take a look at it. Shane Wright got some speed. Has Winterton with him. Cross ice Montour. And Skinner comes out to meet him near the right side post as he made the save. RNH now with Isaac Howard. He lost it off the drop pass. Good dispossess for Seattle. Start again for Jake Wallman out of Darnell Nurse. 22-19 on the shot board, but Edmonton down by a goal. It's 2-1. Picked in by Mahura. Needs some help. Bounced in between his skate blades. And this is punched up into the air. One more for RNH near the right side red line. As this will be recollected here between Joey Decourt and Ty Cartier. Lost it for a moment. Just eludes the blue line. So Seattle can be on their back end defense as this will be shoveled ahead. Now an opportunity for Trent Frederick. Frederick now. He's got a pin against the right side faceoff dot. Ben Myers, Jamie Alexiak. Fourth line and third line defense. Here's Mahura. Alexiak joins in on the fun to cancel them off the puck. Seattle will escape with it, but this backhand goes a little bit too far. Picked up now for Matthias Ekholm. 12:50 left to go in the third. Not a lot of shots so far. It's been all defense, and it looks like Seattle's trying to hold a one-goal lead. Not really parking the bus, but they're really trying to cut down the areas right in the middle of the slot and everything else for that matter. Mahura now and Tolvanen combined to slap shot it in, but it eludes Tolvanen. Now some numbers here. Darnell Nurse, the trailer, goes back to him, closes the 5-hole for Joey Decourt, and he makes the first save of the third period. We'll get a break. 12:30 left to go in the third. Seattle's still up by 1. Hopefully not too much of the sound's picking up. I'm not going to yell at Lauren for vacuuming. If she feels like cleaning at midnight, she can absolutely do that. I just have the door closed in here. I imagine there's not going to be too many on the stream anyway because they are following along with the World Series, and I'm just getting everything back underway. So I will just make this known. For my schedule this week, I'm looking at Tuesday, Wednesday. I got to run some errands on Monday and Thursday, and Friday will be a prep because I have my Sharks home opener on Saturday. So Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm going to monitor the World Series. I might cover one of those, and then maybe we will do Frozen Frenzy on Tuesday, or I could just do the World Series and a basketball game. But everybody's going to be in action on Tuesday. It might be fun if we can get Alec or Ian in here just to try to go through the entire scoreboard with everybody in action and see what we get.
Side effects include nausea, diarrhea, vomiting, which can cause dehydration and worsen kidney problems. Ask your healthcare provider about Zepbound. Explore savings options today.
Let's see if the Seattle feed is back up. I don't think Jack Michaels is a terrible play-by-play for Edmonton, but he's kind of like nails on the chalkboard for me. He's just not one of the guys I like that much.
Yeah, in terms of play-by-play guys, Chicago's isn't terrible.
And Chicago's was Calgary's.
Well, now John Kelly, who was the Blues guy,
Yep.
is now with the LA Kings.
So it looks like when I flipped the Seattle feed, they've lost their play-by-play for John Forsling. They're picking up Jack Michael's side and using it on theirs. So that was completely gone. So I'm just going to pause for one more second. So that's what happened. But no, I agree with you, Ian. So this is a D-zone draw. It was won by Seattle for a moment. They got 11:45 left in the third. McDavid off the drop pass for Ekholm and Bouchard. This will be shoved in the corner now. Larson trying to buy some space, and Seattle trying to get it out of their own end. We'll see how much of a press. We've still got halfway of this third to go in regulation. Play with a hand pass will blow the play dead at 11:31. Shopboard still reads 24-19 in favor of Edmonton. Again, just your reset for goal scorers. Nothing yet in the third. Jordan Eberle, the only in the first, his third of the year from Maddie and Berkeley Catton. Ty Cartier, his first minute from Ryan Winterton and Ben Myers at 6:35 of the second. And then Evan Bouchard on the power play from Leon Draisaitl and RNH. Still 2-1. That's where we sit. With 11:25 in the third. Watching this one from the Emerald City in Seattle, Washington. Picked up now by McDavid. We didn't look for Evan Bouchard there, and this will not be kept in by Bouchard's skates. We'll have to go back and play to Matthias Ekholm from right to left. That is where Edmonton's going to go in this third period in their road whites in the mix of the blue jerseys, orange stripes. They have iced it as we get a stoppage at 11:07. Not a lot of space so far in this third period. And if we have to say that from last year, I don't think Seattle will be able to play that type of game. Now, in the beginning, when it was Dave Hextall and they got that first round series win against the Colorado Avalanche, that was their biggest moment of their franchise. Much different team, a lot more talent. Now some of the young guns starting to get going, but they did have Jared McCann on IR. You are going to be bringing back Riker Evans when he comes back from injury. A lot of other players still out. Freddie Gaudreau, same deal. So Seattle's got a lot of healthy bodies they need to get back. Here is Frederick. This one canceled off of the glove hand of Joey Decord. A punch back down the ice. It'd be tough to be an icing because that bounced off of Joey Decord's glove, but that's exactly what we're going to get is Trent Frederick wins the hybrid ice. As far as your initial stats, you will get to those as well. 25-19 on the shop board officially. 13-9 on hits, 25-23 face-offs. Edmonton leading all of those. Seattle 0 for 3 on the power play. The Oilers 1 for 2. That game a couple of nights ago, in between the Hurricanes and the Avalanche, Avalanche did come back down 4-1 to lose in a shootout, but they had 9 power play opportunities and only went 1 for 9 in that 5-4 loss to Carolina a couple of days ago. So never really said that. And during my broadcast, I mentioned how quiet McKinnon and Makar were, which is something I never said since doing Hopeless Sports Guy or any of these broadcasts. McDavid, now from Nurse to Leon Draisaitl. Trailer is Jake Wallman. We'll shovel this one in the corner as we've got halfway through the third now. Still a 2-1 game. Turnaround shot. And this one will be solved by Decord with the left pad. That was RNH. Mason Marchment. Try to recollect and just stick hand shovel this one down the ice. Try to pick it up now and shrugs off a hit. Darnell Nurse for Jake Wallman. He'll make a spin and let the forwards for Kris Knoblauch's squad take a change. This has been as low event as possible in this third period, and that's pretty good for Seattle, all things considered, trying to start off a big homestand for them. Another save for Decord, that off RNH. right in the glove hand will force an ozone draw, but not before we get a commercial timeout. 9:18 left in the third. It's still 2-1. So across your NHL scoreboard today, I hadn't hit this. Might as well do that while we're in a break. It is the Philadelphia Flyers getting a win at the Xfinity Mobile Center, I believe is what it's called now. Trevor Zegras with the latest in the third that tied it. And it looks like Zegras and Matvei Michkov ended up scoring on the shootout to win it against the Islanders. Ilya Sorokin 23-26 in the loss. And I'm just watching here for Matthew Schaefer. Did not pick up a point. He was certainly on a streak. He did get a team leading 27-40 of ice time. But for the number one pick, the 18-year-old, he's already got 7 points on the season and is a +3. So for all the time that we didn't get to see Matthew Schaefer in the World Juniors when I covered it, when he ended up injuring his arm as he slammed into the right part of the post, he has looked every bit as the number one pick in the NHL, and that is good for the Islanders and Patrick Waugh. Avalanche fall to the Boston Bruins. They had lost 6 straight coming in. Arturi Lehkonen, the only goal of the third. That was 20 seconds left. Morgan Geekie, your game winner. He's got 6 on the year already. Victor Arvidsson and Mikey Eyssimont had the other goals. Arturi Lehkonen scored both for Colorado. Swayman's had a good year so far, even though his team hasn't had a great record. 31-33 in the victory.
You know, depending on where the Bruins end up by trade deadline, you know, I forget what his contract situation looks like, but I could see a team trying to trade for Swayman.
Yeah, why not? Because if you're Boston, you're probably in a full rebuild, correct? You already lost Linus Ullmark from a couple of years ago. You wouldn't like to lose Jeremy Swayman, but honestly, I don't disagree with you, Ian.
Yeah, you know, although you know what, they probably won't do that until they probably won't rebuild until Pasta is well within his contract.
It's true. You got a lot of money tied up in between those two, but you also would have to think Pasta and Swayman would be willing to kind of waive those no trade clauses if the option was there. I'm not saying the Red Wings or teams like that, but you'd be thinking about teams that really want a star or really need a goaltender and have prospects who are willing to pay. You're right about Boston having some attractive pieces.
Yeah.
McDavid. Now for Bouchard. We got 8:20 left to go in this third. Thanking anyone that's staying up or listening late. And alongside this game of Hockey Night in Canada again, the Toronto game was moved up. They did win against the Buffalo Sabres, but the Jays lost. That's why they had to move that game up. This was sent the other way. McDavid picks it up. Now we're down to 8 minutes in this third. Here's a slap pass for Bouchard. It's put to Vince Dunn in the corner. Jaden Schwartz takes a hit, and Seattle gets it out. Eberle's gone. He scores! My goodness, what a shot that was. Top left bar bounces in. In Seattle, the only counterattack they had this period, he's got 2, and Seattle up by 2. Bouchard, I think he was kind of lazy on that. I hate to keep picking on the guy, but he's had a rough year. He just brushes into the corner and then gives it right up to Manny Beniers, who just serves it to Eberle, who's got a stride and a half. I mean, he gave the puck right to Beniers, and he had Eberle right down the doorstep. He had red carpet against Stuart Skinner, and he nailed that shot. But that is all Evan Bouchard mistakes. And again, he's a -9 now. Well, he's got one goal in this game, so you feel good about that. But the contract that they signed him to, I'm not saying they shouldn't have signed him, but you got to get more defense. Even if he is an offensive defenseman, he can't play like that. I'd like to get Ian's comments once we get a stoppage. I know I'm being hypercritical on Evan Bouchard, but considering the type of player he is, he needs to be much better than that. Eberle has got his fourth. As this is picked up now for Larson, probably should have shot that right up the gut, but Eberle did just score. And now Seattle plays with the puck possession. Larson, 1T, saves Skinner, and this will be picked back up now. Here for Karche off the spin and turn, lost it for a moment. Looking for a breakout counter for Mangiapane, and this is picked up by Larson. Sent back in off of McDavid. And Seattle as Karche takes a hit. And alongside Vince Dunn, shot board 29-21. Ryan Winterton try to pick it up now as Seattle escapes the danger. 3-on-2, nice chip in off the glass, allows Lambert's squad to take a change. 1 goal in each period for Seattle. And I know Edmonton's got a 29-21 lead on the shot board, but I think they've played the much better game, all things considered. Joey Decord's been excellent, as he usually is. He's a very underrated netminder. Ben Myers, pass gets blocked as Berkeley Catton tried to send it out in front. This goes off a stick of Skinner, who was already in the butterfly. Here's a chance now. Picked up by the defense, and Lexiak, I don't know if he held it. 6:13 left to go in the third. We will get a whistle. Do you see enough? I'm not even saying in this game, but in general, talking about Edmonton, what do you think of Evan Bouchard?
Okay. Well, I told you it was kind of tongue-in-cheek at the time, but not really. I said that you asked me to pick a team that would miss the play, that wouldn't make it back to the playoffs, and a team that would make it in. I said the Chicago Blackhawks would get in over the Edmonton Oilers. Did I truly believe that as my pick? I mean, for giggles, yes, but they're back to square one, man. It's McDavid and Draisaitl and who? You know, it goes back to, I feel like, you know, it's a different name, but we're back to Drake Kajula and Anton Schlepyshev, but just insert 2 names from this roster in place of them, and I think Evan Bouchard is one of them.
Ekholm scores on a deflection from the point. We'll see. Your points are well taken. I'm going to take a look at this here. Darnell Nurse looks like he's at the celebration line. So McDavid throws it back. It bounces off a stick of Seattle. Darnell Nurse, he will drop this after Draisaitl sends it across. That was a crazy hop. No chance for Joey Decord. But it looks like both defensemen, Darnell Nurse may be at the screen in front, bounced off of him, but Darnell Nurse and Bouchard have the goals. And this will be sent back down. We're going to get to that again in a moment. We get a stoppage, but I agree with Ian's points. Whether or not January again was standing, because if Edmonton gets hot again, it's at the same point where these two guys already do too much, and I just don't think, like you said, last year it was their best chance to win it. They did not, and they didn't even get as far as they got last year. Yes, they got to the final, but it wasn't even as competitive, and I still don't see it for Edmonton. So Nurse gets the goal, and it's Ekholm getting an assist off the deflection as Nurse went in front of the net. So 4:35 left to go in the third, and Seattle has iced it. 4:34 left to go in the third. Shane Wright can't win it. Edmonton now within a goal again, as this is a long shot held in the glove hand of Joey Decord. That last one from Nurse, absolutely nothing Joey Decord could do. Jordan Eberle off the latest giveaway from Bouchard. It's 3-2. We're back within a one-goal game again. We'll take a break. 4:28 left.
But again, I mean, who exactly is supposed to be their third man now? Is it still Zach Hyman?
Zach Hyman when he comes back, but I would still say probably RNH because he's been the third man to me the whole time.
I don't see anything that moves the needle for me. Let's look at it another way. You think about the teams that have won the Stanley Cup in these past years, that being Florida twice, Vegas, and then then you had
Colorado Avalanche
and the Lightning.
Mm-hmm.
What did they all have? They had four lines. They had four lines, but they had a top six that could contend with everybody.
Yes.
And at moment, and all of them had a three-headed monster. You know, sure, you got McDavid and Draisaitl. I guess you could say that's your, at the time, your McKinnon and Reigns in it. But who's your Landeskog? You know, who's your Cale Makar?
Yeah, Kucherov, Point, Stamkos, all those other guys like that you mentioned. But also, I know you're going to make this point, when you go between Vasilevsky or Darcy Kemper or Aiden Hill or Sergei Bobrovsky, all those guys absolutely blow away Stuart Skinner. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and if but I mean, sure, you can point to Vegas and say, but they had a third stringer in Aiden Hill. Aiden Hill showed that, Aiden Hill may have been thrust into the fire, and Mangiapane is one of the exceptions. But he's proven that it wasn't a fluke, and Vegas had Marcel Eichel, and as for the third guy, okay, I'm having.
Well, I mean, you could say Mark Stone and all that too, Ian. But then you also say their entire back end D line of Vegas was elite with Pietrangelo and everyone else too. I mean, they were all great.
You had your, I think Chandler Stephenson. Chandler Stephenson. You had your Zach White.
Zach Whitecloud was good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that whole D line was absolutely excellent. And
Edmonton does not have that depth.
No, they don't. They have some fantastic offensive players. You see Draisaitl's excellent move off the stick handle there, as that was fought off by Decord. 3:11 left in the third. We're going to end another frantic finish that we got a couple of days ago. Now that one went into a shootout, and Seth Jarvis ended up getting the game winner. We'll see how this one goes. Seattle has played very well, but they got to be able to hold on to get these 2 points. As Brett Kulak's pass right in off the gut, you got Pod Colson right in off the change. The right side dot, and Kulak's going to have to skate back. That was a miserable pass. As this goes 250 right to Skinner. Another long outstretch. Here is Henrique. And for Kulak, just holds in the blue line. Andrew Mangiapane. Seattle, good back check reach to get this one. He got Eberle on a hat trick watch. Blows it just by the right side post. He looked like he had it all, but he missed the net. He had definitely the power behind it. As Adam Larson, former Oiler, will send this in. Again, this is the best he's played since he's been a member of the Kraken more so than the Edmonton Oilers. If they had this version of him, they would certainly be much better. Here is an opportunity for McDavid. Try to find Draisaitl. Good pounce on in the defensive zone. Bounces off of Mangiapane. We recollected for Jake Wallman. Again, he signed a 7x7 for $49 million for Edmonton. You can tell me whether or not that was also worth it. As Joey DeCord will send this one off the glass. Try to get this ahead for Ryan Winterton. Here's Matty. It's a 2-on-1. This one fought off by the blocker. I would definitely get on my seat if he scores. I was able to see him score live in a Kraken win last year on Cooper's birthday, so that was pretty cool. McDavid now, starting his own end from the save from Skinner. Here he is now to the right side, dot, full flight. Net is empty. Here for Jake Wallman off the touch pass. It's 6-on-5. Edmonton down a goal. They got 90 seconds left. Wallman, left side blue line, crisscross Bouchard. Back to McDavid, centering feed. This bounced off a Seattle skate. Edmonton just holds it in. Picked up by Bouchard. Now to Connor. Connor to Evan. Toward the left side blue line. Back to number 97. He will survey on his forehand off the drop. Seattle just trying to cover the middle of that slot. Bouchard, RNH, McDavid, left dot, tipped up in the air. And this one goes to the left side dot and sent back down the ice. This will not hit the empty net. And Seattle has iced it with 50 seconds left. A little bit frantic there for Seattle, but if they did not pick that one up off the back check, that was Schwartz and Eberle in off the rush. It was excellent work. And then Matty on a 2-on-1. Good glove save there for Skinner. Had to have it. Looking for a tip play out in front for McDavid. And David Tomasek, that was right in on the doorstep. But Joey DeCord with a beautiful save right in front of the blue paint. Stephenson against Draisaitl. Draisaitl wins the draw. It's Wallman. Plays it back. Now gives it here to Connor McDavid off the double shift. This one goes off the stick of Joey. Toward the right side blue line. Down to 35 seconds. Jake Wallman. Here's Bouchard. His wrister gets blocked by Eberle. Stays in the zone. Bouchard. Slap pass. And cleared down the ice. Oh, it hits the post! All the way down the ice. Edmonton was that close from their own end. Eberle would have had a hat trick, but now it will be an offensive zone draw for Edmonton. My goodness. 200 feet looking for a hat trick was Eberle, and he kissed the bar. What a crazy finish we got going on right now. And he turns and golfs this thing. You couldn't have done that any better if he played with a sand wedge. Leon Draisaitl off the tie-up. Wins it again. McDavid trying to find it. No timeout was used. Here's a chance. Toward the right side, DeCord makes the save. Down to 10 seconds now. Seattle trying to get out of their zone. They do. Here's a chip. I think they've iced it again. It is 3.3 left in the third. Eberle ices it one more time, and we will get one more face-off at least, as Jake Wallman's chance got blocked toward the right side dot. Vince Dunn was the one that did it. One more play here, 3.7 from 3.3 they've added. Leon Draisaitl trying to win the draw again. Edmonton down a goal. Seattle trying to get the full 2 points. Stephenson takes the draw again. Stephenson off the tie-up. It's Bouchard, another block. And Seattle wins this game. What an ending. They win 3-2. Jordan Eberle gets the game winner. Thank you for joining me. And what a game that was at the end of it. Joey DeCord being mobbed. He stops 31 of 33 as Edmonton falls 3-2 on hockey night.
Yeah. You know, everyone's expecting that Edmonton will eventually find form and bounce back. And they might. But, you know, there isn't going to be third Oilers Panthers.
No.
No, if they make it in, they will be a first round exit.
I'm not going to say you heard it here first, Ian, because again, you've been talking about them maybe not even making the playoffs. But again, January notwithstanding for me, when Edmonton usually makes their run, as you just said, we will see. But this team is not as deep, and you made the points last year in the playoffs as they were last year, and I don't see it. And there's only so many times that you can go ahead and make that move. And you talk about with Connor McDavid, what was it, a 2-year extension? That's a show-me deal. You gave this team enough time to take less money, and if they don't get the job done by then, he's gone.
Yep, and if he's gone, I would expect Draisaitl to do the same.
Yeah, there's no reason for him to stay at that point. I would agree with you. I wouldn't stay around. I mean, you make the Cup finals twice. You do what you can. I understand Florida is a dynasty type of team. I get it. But you've really accomplished everything else you could accomplish then at that point. It's time to go to a different team at that time.
Yep, and it will be one of the greatest wastes of talent we have seen really in NHL history. Because, I mean, how can you waste not one, but two franchise cornerstones?
Yeah.
Basically 1A and 1B. Because Leon Draisaitl is 1A on.
Yeah, he's number one on every other team. Right, yes.
I just don't get it. As a matter of fact, you know what? If you got crazy ideas on the brain, this is another one of mine. Chicago, not this year, but next year. If you think you've got something, try and swing a trade for Leon Draisaitl.
Hey, I mean, you had Jonathan Toews and Patrick Kane kind of feel at home on the Chicago Blackhawks in original 6. They just can't.
Yeah.
They can't give up. They can't give up Spencer Knight. Although you would think if they could finally get their goaltender in Edmonton. So there's stranger things that could happen.
Oh, no. If they're asking for Knight, you ask for McDavid. No, you just found your starting goaltender. You're not. If you're doing that, you're asking for McDavid.
Because I made the point not too long ago when I thought Pittsburgh was going through their rebuild, and then they have this season so far, that maybe Draisaitl or McDavid could be the next Mario Lemieux and Jaromir Jagr as they replace Crosby and Malkin. But Chicago might be another one of those teams as well.
Yeah.
All right, Ian, I'm going to get set to close up shop here. I might be back within Tuesday, Wednesday, but thank you for joining me. It was a lot of fun.
Yes, sir.
We'll talk soon.
Yes, sir.
That's your final, everybody. Seattle wins 3-2. It was an exciting game against the Edmonton Oilers. They proved a 5-2-2 on the year. They look pretty damn good to start the year. Be a full story coming up next.